We're discussing some NFL debates tonight. Which NFL debates? I don't know. We'll see what comes up in the conversation here. Before we get into it and intro our co-host for tonight, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit the link in the description for the merch store. As always, I'm wearing something for the merch store. It is our Watson and Tucker massage parlor t-shirt. Get your happy ending today. And yes, I did wear the shirt yesterday, but you know what? The cool people wear their shirts 2 days in a row. And you can get these shirts, this shirt, as well as everything else at the merch store. We have a 15% off sale right now. We have a bunch of new shirts, including some blankets, this quality Leering Center t-shirt, which is actually, this is a blanket. It's fantastic, if I do say so myself. You can change the colors of these shirts. You can get them in hoodie, long sleeve, women's tank top, and infant onesie. We have a bunch here. We have playing cards and a mouse pad too. You can go to Amazon, buy my books. The most recent one is Jerks to the College Years, where I made fun of these people. You can see on the screen here. And my first book was A Safety and a Field Goal, which is a top 5 topic book about the NFL, mostly serious stuff, but some fun stuff too. And please consider super chats, super stickers. That's the best way to support the show. I say this all the time, and it's true. It's Q1, which means the ad rates on YouTube are pretty low. So if you guys really want to help us out, that's the best way to do it. We had Can't Make an Eagle and the Boss, and also Dom giving us super chats last week. So thank you so much, guys. But yeah, let's intro this. We'll go top to bottom here. We have Injured Reserve first. Injured Reserve, you want to say who you are, or how are you?
Good. Yeah, I mean, I'm Injured Reserve here, member of the BDL. It's here for the conversation tonight. Honestly, don't have anything to sponsor. I guess technically not one of foul of YouTube rules. Well, me and BB are sponsored for today's video by a very special charity in our heart, Brunettes for Frogs. It is kind of like a way to bring, I would say, young women mentors to former youth privilege from Brooklyn. So it's very special to our hearts. You know, just I don't think it in any way influences our commentary tonight, but really the only thing we're here to support.
Okay, well, glad to hear it. And at the bottom here, we have Body Burner. Body Burner, how's it going? It's believe your 4th time on the show or 5th time. How's everything going?
Everything's good. I still haven't read any of your books. They didn't arrive in the mail. I'm not paying for them, so. But yeah, I didn't realize we're being sponsored by Brunettes for Frogs tonight, but it's a worthy charity.
Yep.
Yeah, the man has a type, and we should help him in his time of need.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always great to give back and just really bring attention to these organizations that need to be mentioned a lot. So, all right, well, you guys contacted me about coming on the show. Usually on Thursday we have Evan who comes on the show. Mm-hmm. Evan's on vacation for the whole month of February, and he'll be back for March Madness. But you guys are on, and you guys told me that you guys have a lot of football discussions and debates and arguments and whatnot in your Discord for your Bizarro League. We actually did a show about the Bizarro League about last summer, I believe, with Body Burner. But I mean, if you guys want to start talking about some of these arguments, debates, or if you want to discuss your league for a second. The floor is yours. We can start top to bottom. We go Injured Reserve and then Body Burner if you guys want.
Yeah, I'll leave BB to just to intro the league. I think he did a great job of it last year, better than I usually do when I try to explain it to people. But I did have one that I didn't reveal early to you, BB, because I thought it would be a good discussion point. I think probably the most frequent argument I see, and I saw it echoed a lot in the last few weeks of NFL commentary that also causes fights in our league as well, is probably the validity of PFF scores. So I thought that would be a good argument here. I know that it fires up people like JJ Watt who hate that it's shown on TV screens. I would say, especially in our league that involves voting, that I do find it causes fights where everyone loves when their players have high PFF ratings and everyone's furious when they're low. So I think from my perspective, I do think I'll admit I do subscribe because I really love seeing their snap count analysis where people are lined up.
Oh, yeah.
But I would say from my own perspective, I do take them with a slight grain of salt. And so I think that a lot of times when it's a fight, I kind of I'm a little bit of a fence sitter there. I think there's certain positions that drive me insane. And I've shouted from the rooftops a lot that I don't understand their corner scores, where if you were to look at PFF corner ratings, you'd think every CB2 on an NFL roster is the best player in the NFL. It's like they rate without any idea that like wide receiver ones exist. They're superior quality. Like Mike Jackson is literally the third highest rated NFL corner this year. and I like Mike Jackson. He was on my roster last year. I do want to shout him out, but at the same time, like, does anyone in the NFL think that Mike Jackson's the third best corner in the NFL? Like, what are we doing? So that was where I'd kick off the discussion, and I'd be curious to hear, like, one, BB, do you agree that PFF causes fights? And like, two, like, what's your beef with it? Where do you stand?
Yeah, no, definitely. So I guess first, just to intro the league for those that don't remember or new viewers, it's basically a very intense dynasty football league, somewhat like fantasy, but we don't use any sort of fantasy scoring. It's purely by voting. We manage our own draft and cap space and free agency. And then the winners decided by voting every week after you write your own game plans. Mm-hmm. As far as the PFF goes, I think you're pretty accurate. Some positions make no sense. And then it does really just come down to, it's used so inconsistently in our league, and I'm sure in other circles as well. Like if you like a player and the scoring's high, you have no problem saying, oh, he's the 5th ranked running back on PFF, whatever. But in the same token, if you like a guy and it's low, oh, PFF's trash, and it doesn't matter.
That's absolutely true. I think it's really interesting, and I look at the PFF as well. I think it's they have a lot of, as Inter was saying, there are a lot of good tools on there. You like snap counts, for example. This not a good example, but we bet Jack Westover as a super long shot to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl because he played half the snaps in the AFC Championship and the 2 other playoff games. I'm like, well, this guy has been targeted a little bit here and there. He plays half the snaps, so that gave us I thought like a good play, like 40-1, a long shot, and actually got bet down to 25-1. Unfortunately, he only played 6 snaps in the Super Bowl, so that didn't end up working out. But yeah, right. They also give stats on offensive linemen, like sacks allowed, which like you don't see in a lot of places. So I like that. And I think that like you have to kind of remember that everyone has different opinions. Even just watching the film, teams will like different players in the draft. They'll watch the same film from college and they'll come to different conclusions. Like I had a successful NFC VP of personnel tell me ahead of the 2017 draft that he had Deshaun Watson as a 3rd-round prospect. Now he's had a lot of great draft picks over the years, and clearly teams disagreed because the Texans took him in the 1st round. They traded up to 12 for him. So it really depends on what you're looking at, and teams can look at the same film and think differently. And I think that applies to people just watching film and grading. Like the PFF guy might think that Mike Jackson's second coming of Darryl Green or something, but then we could watch him and be like, well, what are you seeing? I do think that you have to remember that it's only human. It's not like AI is watching it, and they have the correct evaluation of each player. It's just a person, and then if it was another person from PFF grading that game, they could have come to a different conclusion. So it's just one person's opinion at the end of the day,
No, I'm glad you brought that up because I actually was going to ask you that, Walt. Like, I know I wasn't sure how many people they have grading, but one thing I've seen, like, occasionally when I don't understand the score, I will try to catch like the YouTube recap they have to get an idea. Like, sometimes a QB will have a crazy low score and like a pretty solid game, and I will see, like, I saw this a couple times for various QBs where they'd have like 3 touchdowns, solid stats. I'll watch the game and I expected at least like a 75 or something like that, and they'll just destroy them, and they'll be like, well, 2 of the touchdowns were wide open, and then I'll watch like the same exact game by another QB the very next week, and they have like a 90. So I do sometimes wonder, like, are only some of the graders destroying people for throwing wide open touchdowns, while other people are like, a TD's a TD, where I don't know if it's bias or it just happens to be just different graders. Maybe I don't know which one explains it, but maybe it is like what you just said, and like people are going to grade a little bit differently. They're going to view the game as a little bit differently, maybe punishing QB for a wide open throw while others wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, Look, the mood of the grader could affect it too. Like what if this person had an argument with their wife, before they started watching tape, and they're like, I'm in a bad mood, I'm going to give everyone a bad grade. Like I could see that too. Like I said, it's not a computer, it's not AI, it's a human being grading this stuff. So you do have to take it with a grain of salt. I think the most important thing you could do is like actually watch the games and see. But the problem is, you can't watch every player. It's impossible to watch in one sitting. You're going to watch the receivers and the tackle and the center and the edge rushers and the linebackers at the same time. Like it's not possible. And so you can only watch so much. And I try to watch every game twice, and even that's like not enough. Like I still need help with like some of the linemen and whatnot. That's why I like the lineman stats, like sacks allowed and pressures and whatnot. I think that's really useful.
Yeah, and also even with like watching the game, we don't have like the camera angles that the teams will be using to watch the games, right? So we have like the live feed from whatever network we're on, and when you're watching that, you might not even know what's happening in the secondary. You might not know what's happening on the far left of the field, depending on the camera angle and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, I will say that injured reserve, you said no one graded Mike Jackson very highly. I think his parents would maybe think he's the third best corner. I don't know.
It's just I was picking up a player that like me and Dave when the year he co-owned. So he got in his own team this year, had great success. But he co-owned with me in the BDL the prior year. We did go to the championship, and he was our corner too. And I can tell you he was treated like an absolute liability. So I do have to shout Mike Jackson out even 1 year late as being viewed as an elite corner. So it's a win. It's a win even 1 year subsequent to our run.
How'd you guys do this year individually?
I didn't make it. Dave did though. It was me or him, I think, in the last game, right? That's like how it was decided. Like one of us got in.
Yeah, the last week of the season, I needed like a crazy. I needed to win, and I needed 3 teams to lose, and your team was one of them. It was like you, I think, Berlin, and like maybe one other team.
That sounds right.
It all just happened to fall in place, so I barely squeaked in. And that's something I want to talk about later about like it was brought up in our chat, like young players and evaluating them. Because one thing I noticed in our league too, it's like I have a quarterback, Drake May, who is seen as like an absolute liability for 7 weeks. And all of a sudden week 8, it's like, oh, he's really good. I'm like, nothing changed. Just the evaluation changed. That's all.
It's funny. And now he stinks again because he took 1 million sacks in the playoffs. And by the way, I feel bad here. Spencer's disease, man. What a terrible joke. What a horrible host I am. I should maybe look that up. I don't
that could be unverified, Walt. He could just be messing with you for all you know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna apologize for anything. You guys
they could be proud ghosts, Walt.
Yeah, look, they're watching down from heaven. Yeah, like they're very happy for him. Next thing you know, like his parents were like serial killers not in heaven or something. Like anyway, so talking about like a young player evaluations, it is funny how I mean you guys tell me in your league how's Drake May viewed, not in like week 7, but like the beginning of the year when he was an unknown, because in like regular fantasy he was going like 10th, 11th, 12th maybe rounds. And in the league, I was in 3 leagues this year, and you guys were both in the same league at different times. I actually won the league this year, and the main reason is because I took Drake May in like the 12th round. He was just so huge for me. But given that he was going 11th, 12th round at the beginning of the year, like he wasn't highly thought of, and I thought like he just had so much potential. So I mean, was that like the same thought process in your league about like where May was ranked?
What I would say is I noticed I started the season, and there are other factors here. My team did have a lot of early injuries at different positions, but I started the season at 1-5-1.
Okay.
And a lot of the voting was second year Drake May can't handle the pressure. Second, Drake May can't do this. And then all of a sudden, it was like a light switch went off, and like I saw different comments. Oh, Drake May, MVP candidate. Drake May, great deep ball. I'm like, what changed? Nothing really changed. So to your point, I feel like because of the way the league is with the voting, we're literally like 3 to 4 weeks behind reality until like people actually decide like, oh, this young player, or even like not necessarily a young player, but a guy that might have been bad in the past now is in a new situation. Now all of a sudden looks better because he's getting different opportunities or something like that.
Yeah, it's amazing what some wins will do, even against bad teams. I want to bring this up. I brought this up before. I even have the tab open. The Patriots had the easiest schedule in the NFL. If you look at the strength of schedule, this column right here is 0.391. That was by far the easiest. The only team that was under 0.43 was the Broncos. So you had the two AFC championship teams had the two easy schedules in the NFL this year. But the Patriots played like every easy team. Like they played the entire NFC South. They played the Titans. They played the Browns. Like I don't know if they played the Cardinals or not, but they like every other easy team was on their schedule. And they and heading into the Super Bowl, like part of the reason why I liked Seattle a lot heading into the Super Bowl was that their defense wasn't really tested. Like they played a backup quarterback in the AFC Championship. They played a Texan team missing Nico Collins and Dalton Schultz in the divisional round. And in the first round, they played a Chargers team that was missing like half their offensive line. And before that, the 2 weeks before that, at the end of the regular season, they played the Dolphins and the Jets. And before that, they played the Ravens, who lost Lamar Jackson in the second quarter. So they hadn't played a good offense since like week 15. So this team was, I thought, highly overrated. But I still think, despite the schedule, I still think Drake May is an amazing player. But like, he started way too low, and he just got super elevated from having so many easy games. Next year, they're gonna have a tougher schedule, like a much tougher schedule. So, and I'll bring that up later. But in terms of what do you think about this?
Yeah, me and BB have talked about this quite a lot. I think it's like part of the BDL in general that you kind of know, and this is part of the reasons like even like why I went a lot younger with my team this year after like making a great run last year to try to like get even more players I believed in long term. You're gonna like run the risk in early season if you can't get like a vet that produces in front of them really, really cheap, like with the managed cap as well, that like you're going to be beholden to the voters. If you find out that like a lot of people haven't seen your guys yet, if you're starting, say, like 3 or 4 rookies in a unit, you're just at risk. And even Drake May being a young second-year player, like I do think you're right, Walt. I think a little bit of the schedule. I mean, if I remember correctly, I think Drake May lost to the Raiders early in the season. So I think So like even early in the year, like a couple of the rough games, like that was one of them. So I think he needed to get a few wins before people recognized he was playing like elite football. And then I think that like BB's also correct that like if you have other problems, like the injuries on his O-line took probably an early season contender that BB probably would agree that everyone was like, this is a scary team, to like basically you had the Chargers O-line situation in real life where you're like, crap, like Will Campbell starting immediately, which they would have loved, obviously. But other than that, like you lost both of your offensive tackles. So I think like early in the season, until you got a little healthier, you're basically dealing with like an undermanned Drake May. And then all of a sudden everyone's like, maybe he's an MVP candidate. We kind of can't vote against you anymore. So I think that's just like what a lot of the rookies go through. And even the second-year QBs are probably treated more like rookies in our league, which is unfortunate. But at the same time, it's kind of like realistic. Like you're not going to sway people in a week or two.
Yeah. So I pulled up the schedule here for the Patriots next year. It's going to be very tough. So, well, they have 4 easy games in the division with the Dolphins twice and Jets twice. But outside of that, they play the NFC North. So Bears, Lions, Vikings, and Packers. And then they play the AFC West. So they get the Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, and then Raiders again still. And then their 3 special games are at Jacksonville versus Pittsburgh and at Seattle. So that's way tougher than what they had this past season. So we're going to see what Drake May's made out of in year 3. And speaking of the offensive line, I don't know if you guys heard what happened in the Super Bowl as far as Seattle having a big advantage over the Patriots. We actually talked about that on the show the past few episodes. Did you guys hear anything about that? You said no already.
Not in the last few days, like unless I'm just missing something that I've read and forgot.
Okay. Well, you told me the other night, Walt, so I won't ruin your thunder.
We did with our fancy dinner at Chick-fil-A. Yes, we did discuss it. So the day after the Super Bowl, Mike McDonald came out and said that they had a tell on Will Campbell because he was injured. He was leaning a certain way if it was going to be a run or if it's going to be a pass. And so they knew. And like you can watch the film. The Seattle linebacker Ernest Jones, like every time, like a few times, like in this video, he's like, it's a run, and like he just knew what they were going to do, and that's just a big advantage. And that definitely hurt Drake May. He took 7 sacks in that game. Really should have been 8 sacks, because that pick 6 was really a strip sack, but it never hit the ground, so it was an interception. But it was just a rough game for him, a rough playoff. Just getting sacked 22 times in 4 games is insane. They really need to improve the line, but if they do, if they add a couple of guys and make the line better, suddenly the schedule is going to be more manageable, even though it looks way tougher than it was last year.
Well, I ask you a question. You mentioned they're playing the Bears.
Yes.
Are they playing in New England, or are they playing in Indiana?
The Bears at Chicago.
Wait, I thought they're Indiana now, though.
The Indiana.
I'm messing around. I'm not sure you heard the rumor today that the Bears are moving to Indiana. They're like done with Chicago politics, and they're relocating to Indiana.
Look, I did take both kids to the doctors today at the same time. I was not around to read anything, as you can imagine. That was pretty difficult. So that was like who made that joke? Who made
No,
that?
it's multiple people I've seen. It's not even like one source. It's been like a bunch of people.
I saw the headline too. I didn't read the article, but it's like I definitely saw a real headline about Indiana as well.
Wow,
The Bears moving to Indiana.
We'll see. Can I ask you a question?
Hammond Bears. Team says Indiana site near Wolf Lake is now their main stadium focus. Indiana unanimously passes bill to lure Bears away from Chicago.
Yeah, look at that. It's actually a real thing. I thought someone was trolling, but
no.
the way you said it, wow.
They were fighting about funding this year. I remember during the season there being some talk that like it's the same dance they always do, where like the cities don't want to give like sweetheart deals, but they eventually just cave. So like I wouldn't be surprised if it's just like an attempt to get people to like pony up the money.
Well, the last time I was on your show, a bunch of Bears fans were trolling in the comment section. So
That's right.
I hope their punishment is their team moves Indiana. Screw them.
It's karma. It's definitely karma. It wouldn't be the first time. I mean, like the Niners, they play in Santa Clara. They don't play in San Francisco.
I actually don't think the team would rebrand. I think they move and they're still to Chicago.
Yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah. I mean, they've been around for 100 years. Like it would be silly for them to change. They were around so long that I forget whether it was the Bears or the Packers, but they ran an ad in a newspaper saying, "Come play football. You get to hit men and not go to prison." That was like their way to get people to play football back then, which was pretty funny. How long we've come from there. But anyway, as you can see, I opened up tab and I had we had a comment here. One of 250 tabs open for Red Gold Champ.
Yeah, this isn't
Red Gold Champ. No. This is nothing. This is one of 4 windows I have for Chrome, and this actually has the third fewest tabs. I have one window with 90 tabs. I have one window with 80 tabs. I have another one with like 30 tabs, and then I have Opera, which has about 50 or 60 tabs, and then I have Firefox, which has about 50 or 60 tabs. So this is just a taste of what I have running on my computer.
RG's having a stroke right now.
Yeah, he is. He wants to see your incognito tabs, Walt, after this.
My incognito tabs.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll get to that.
It's all footage. It's all just footage of Will Campbell in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, seriously. But no, like how far is this from Chicago? Do you guys know? Like,
no idea.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, look, it would be like the Santa Clara example for the Niners. That's about, I think, like an hour and a half away from San Francisco. So it would be like.
It's a 35-minute drive.
Oh, okay. So that's like nothing. So it would be if like the Eagles, the Niners comparison, if the Eagles moved to like Harrisburg or Ocean City, New Jersey, they would probably still be called the Philadelphia Eagles, maybe. But it would still be far away and people would be pissed off that they'd
looking
have
at
to travel
the map,
money.
it's right over the border into Indiana, like barely in the Indiana.
Okay.
And it's still on Lake Michigan.
Okay. Well, it's the New York Giants and New York Jets play New Jersey, so I don't think they changed the name. So, all right, do we have any? Obviously, we have a lot to get to here.
I just had a question about the Will Campbell things. I do totally buy the tell, but in my opinion, I would ask this maybe to you all, any inside information you have, like if that comes out, right, and you're like the opposing team figured out that Will Campbell's a tell while he's hurt, how do heads not roll in the Patriots like coaching staff? Like you're telling me the offensive coordinator doesn't know his left tackle is playing injured and as a tell. And beyond that, I found myself in the second half of the game going, regardless of why he's getting beat, he was giving no help to the left side of that line. Like every time I saw the tight end lined up on the right side when Jared Wilson was getting crushed the whole Super Bowl too, like it was not one player. I was like so overwhelmed by the fact that like the Patriots did nothing to like try to salvage that situation. So I'd be like, all right, who's getting fired for us not knowing our guys have tells? Yeah. And where was the help in the second half? Like there was no adjustment.
Yeah, I mean, self evaluation is a huge thing. Like you have to know what if your players are good, or if their players are bad, like who's struggling there. And the bottom line is that both these teams had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. Seattle took its 2 weeks to realize the tell of Will Campbell. And again, I don't know if they would have been able to do that in 1 week, especially with travel. But with 2 weeks, they definitely had the time, obviously, and they came to that conclusion. And then you had the Patriots. So like, what were the Patriots doing for those 2 weeks to prepare for this game? Like their game plan was to get the ball to the Mary Douglas the whole time. Like that was so dumb, so tilting. Because I had my weak link of my DFS lineup was Hunter Henry. I still finished 23rd in the contest. Like if Hunter Henry caught the touchdown at the end of the game instead of Stevenson, I think I would have won the $100,000. I'm dead serious. Like it. Yeah, I'd Walker, I'd Seattle defense, Seattle kicker, I'd Drake May. I can't remember who my fifth player was, and then I had Hunter Henry. I think it was Mac Hollins, and like Hunter Henry, and just nothing from him. So those are super tilting. But it's a good point. Like I don't know, and if like everyone I've talked to, except for the person who told me, has not heard about this. So maybe the players haven't heard about it, but if they have, like I would be very disappointed in my, Josh McDaniels, like not realizing it, or at least, or maybe he didn't. He just didn't know. I mean, maybe not the tells, but like, as far as giving Campbell help, like maybe there's just nothing that he could do about that. But he should have been able to figure out the tells. Like that's definitely a bad mark on his coaching record, I would think. But it's not like anyone's going to be dying to hire him as head coach anyway. So
no, it's true. He's done.
Yeah, he's although there have been so many bad rehires over the years. I want to say that he's done, but like Mike McCarthy just got hired.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say it. Yeah, Mike McCarthy was a little bit of a shocker. So
a little bit.
McCarthy, like if you're a stupid owner, McCarthy does have like that one Super Bowl ring though that he can kind of pretend for his resume.
Yeah. Hey, I only won one Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. I'm so great.
I said stupid owner. I didn't say
I know.
Owner. But
yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. I really wonder how many Super Bowls Rodgers would have won with a better coach.
To be fair, I mean, like the BDL has 0 rings for Patrick Mahomes, so I mean, Mike McCarthy might be absolutely elite. Like we absolutely can't rule that out.
I think it's worse than that. I think it's 0 for Patrick Mahomes and 0 for Tom Brady.
I wasn't here for that though, so I can't testify about the Tom Brady slander.
No, but I think that was mentioned. Either was I, but just through the chat, I think that was mentioned that Mahomes and Brady have 0 wins or 0 championships in our league.
Can you explain that and to people listening, to me and people listening? Because like I'm like an outsider looking in, and I think I'm thinking if someone has Mahomes or Brady, given how many Super Bowls they've had, and look, let's face it, they haven't been playing on the best teams, like outside of them. Like I'm sure Brady had that mega Super Bowl team in 2007 that lost in the Super Bowl, but they went undefeated. Mahomes had a couple of great teams as well, but Mahomes took a couple of bad teams kicking and screaming into the Super Bowl. And yet, I mean, look, he lost, but still, like, you would think that some Mahomes or some Brady teams would win this league. Like, tell me, like, why?
I can take Mahomes. I think Dave knows more about the Brady situation. So Mahomes, it's interesting because you covered the Mahomes team last year in your rankings just before we finished the offseason wall, and you gave that team the worst grade. So okay. I think your objective grade, I mean, it was not like a nice, this is like a good team, but it just happens to be last. You were like, this is like a college football roster type laugh. Okay. I think like one of the beauties of the BDL is that like it really is more of like a GM simulator, like game to game, whether you win or lose. Like I don't put a lot of stress about it. But I think it is a testament to like GMs get fired if they have like 2 or 3 bad drafts. Like I think Cancun, who does have it, if you go back like maybe my time in the league, I've only been the league owner for 2 years, co in the previous year, they might have gotten, I don't know, like 1 startable player out of 3 drafts in a row. So I think you just have a roster that had 3 really rough drafts that would have gotten a GM fired. So Mahomes like doesn't have any infusion of talent at like youth. Maybe didn't spend its cap the wisest. I think at one point they had like 4 running backs that were starting in the NFL and they paid a lot of money to them. So it might have been like a log jam in the money they spent, and just like none of the exciting talent for like 3 straight years like really hurt. I agree with you. I mean, despite that, they still made the playoffs last year. This year with Mahomes' injury, they were, I think, like near last place or close to it. So it's not like the league ignored them. It was just like they got to the playoffs where you also face a decent QB. Like I believe me and Dave knocked them out last year with Lamar. So it was like he went against another good QB who doesn't really struggle in the playoffs. But I think there was like a talent disparity that we had versus that team that like slightly edged out the vote. But it was still a close vote in the end anyway.
Okay. Bodyburner, what about like the Brady years, if you remember them? Like
I wasn't in the league for Brady. What I've heard through people like just in conversation was I guess a similar situation where he was on some bad rosters and he got traded a few times too. Like he wasn't on the same roster the whole time. So I guess maybe just bouncing around between teams that weren't necessarily that great kind of cost them. But with Mahomes, like Injured Reserve said, he was on a bad roster, and he definitely dragged a bad roster to the playoffs. This year, he actually got traded. Then well, and the team that traded for him got Michael Penix back, and he got hurt. So that was a bad trade all around for both teams.
Wait. What is this trade with Holmes for Penix?
Other
things had to be involved.
Penix was
obviously, yeah. But like, what else was involved here?
I think
you're not gonna be happy, Walt.
I think it was like 2 firsts and 2 seconds,
and to make them
Mike Evans and
Mike Evans in an expiring contract to make the salary work, I believe. And there was like maybe one other player, I believe it was a safety that was also an expiring contract. So Budabaker, you're right. So they 2 expiring contracts that don't help a tanking team, and then Penix and picks basically.
And another fun thing to make this more interesting is the owner of the team that had Mahomes. It was his former co-owner that took over the other team he traded it to. So there's some potential shenanigans afoot.
Wow, that's I don't think that'd be allowed in the real NFL.
And the first team, Cancun, that had Mahomes, the owner said, "This is my last year. I'm done after this season." So like, on his way out the door, he trades Mahomes away. But whatever.
To be fair, I'm going to be sort of honest. Like the owner that got Mahomes is not that happy now. And like, with Mahomes' injury, like we can't actually trade picks. I think more than like we can only go 2 seasons in the future. So I think that somewhat does restrict your ability to even sell an elite QB. So not that he should have just kept Mahomes, obviously. But if you were going to trade him, he should have gotten more. But he probably gotten more if he due to Mahomes' injury than he would have if he hadn't gotten hurt. He definitely should not have like. The QB shouldn't be Michael Penix is the issue. The picks are fine. The picks aren't good enough, but it should have been like a more talented young QB. Like if it was Jackson Dart, we might feel a little differently, even though I don't think that's like a lot better. But if it was someone you could play and have a hope for, maybe you'd feel a little bit differently about the trade, but it still was pretty gross.
Yeah. I mean, Dart can at least do stuff, you know. Yeah. Penix is just like so pedestrian.
Excuse me, I just traded for Michael Penix. So let's
You got paid to take Michael Penix, though.
I did get paid to take Michael Penix. I got a 7th-round pick and Michael Penix to give them J.J. McCarthy.
Okay, all right. Well, the 2 failed quarterbacks from
I did a double take when the trade happened because I'm like, surely the team getting J.J. is getting the pick. I don't know how he got paid to give away J.J. McCarthy. I would 1,000% rather have like if it should be a swap. There should be no compensation.
Well, the reason that trade went down because the guy that proposed the trade is a Vikings fan. He reached
That's
out
even
to
worse. Like, does he not watch the Vikings games?
I don't know. He reached out to me and he said, "Do you want to do a straight trade? Do you want to do Penix for McCarthy?" I'm like, "Why would I do that? I'm not sure why that does anything for me. But if you throw a 7th-round pick in, I would do it." And he goes, "Okay." I mean, it's a little bit more involved than that, but that's basically how it went down.
Let me ask you something because I'm not familiar with this. So if let's just say we're talking McCarthy, let's say this guy has McCarthy in his roster, and McCarthy gets benched, maybe even before the season. Let's just say, for example, the Vikings get Kirk Cousins, and he starts and McCarthy doesn't. Like, does that affect how McCarthy would play on his team in this league? Like, could he theoretically be like, oh, I have McCarthy, if he were playing, he'd be good. Could you say that?
Theoretically, yes.
Theoretically,
yeah. Okay. You can try anything, honestly. Like, I don't know if it'll. You might sway. I'm not saying you couldn't sway a voter or two. It's hard to tell. Like, people try a bunch of different stuff, and like you kind of don't know until the games start getting voted on if your plans are effective.
Okay.
Chad is furious with the Mahomes trade not getting discussed more, but
I'm just reading the comments here. I did not give Vikes a handy for that trade.
Is that how much? What draft capital is that worth?
A handy?
It's a mid third round pick in real life. It might be worth it.
It might be, yeah. So wait. So what's everyone was pissed off about the Mahomes trade? I take it. Because I mean, you guys want us to discuss it more. We can discuss it. This is like I said, floor is yours.
Half the league. Let's say half the league, right? Like, I don't know if everyone's mad.
A fair amount. So there is a very. It has not been used yet, and it's only been about a year old that we put it in. There is like this veto process you can go through if you want to counter a trade. No one did that, if I recall. No one actually tried to veto the trade. Everyone just kind of moaned about it.
Why not veto? I mean, because you said it's a long process. Like, what is?
I don't think it's just a long process. I don't think it was. So, I think one of the points where people get upset with the trade is it's like the first round picks are like not early picks; they're kind of later picks in the first round. Okay. But you don't know that when you trade them. You don't know where the picks are going to land. So I think at the time it wasn't like so egregious that it was veto worthy. It's just kind of like what I mentioned to you, like it's your former co-owner you're trading them to. You're on the way out of the league. It's all these like things that kind of make it look bad, but it's not. When you just look at the trade on paper, could the Mahomes owner gotten more value? Sure, but it wasn't like this egregious thing that he's like giving away for free.
Okay.
Yeah, some more context, and I actually remember it was probably Bishop that's in the chat that I talked off the ledge at the time too. Like, just like there's GMs and like your relationships matter in the league. Like, I'm not really. I don't think there was collusion in play. I just think like the going out owner had a very volatile relationship with like maybe like nine or 10 of the 16 owners. And if you take away the fact that like maybe 4 of the people had good QBs. Like, I don't really think he could have traded with that many people. It's like these people barely talk to each other. So I think like he reduced his own market by the fact that he had maybe like 2 to 3 people max he could have shopped Mahomes to. So I'm not like there's enough. It's kind of like, is there reasonable doubt of collusion? Even if you're like in the most extreme camp, like this is for sure collusion. You're like, I asked that at the time. I'm like, who would he possibly have traded to? You guys all hate each other. So it was like a going out, yes, but I think there's enough of that like he probably was just like, screw you guys, I'm going home. I'm sending the homes to somebody.
Nice Eric Cartman there.
Yeah.
To me, like, it just seems strange that a guy's leaving the league and is allowed to trade the best player in the NFL. I don't know.
That's the best argument. Honestly, if you were there at the time, you might have gotten it vetoed. I think that just saying he shouldn't be trading right now when he's leaving would have been pretty valid. Yeah. That's probably something we should have like pushed harder, I guess.
Yeah, it's not like trading a backup something, just for fun, but like trading the best quarterback in the NFL, arguably the best player in the NFL. It seems very sketchy to me, but
we live it more than you do. Like if you're in the league, and this is like, I mean, I think people are going to agree in the chat that are in our league too. It's a bunch of divas. Like someone threatens to quit. Like, I mean, literally every 48 hours. So like even his exit, I didn't really believe it happened.
I've done it.
And beyond that, his co-owner who he traded to did an entire 6-month goodbye tour. And we'll love you. But like he did a 6-month goodbye tour. And then when we needed a new owner, he's like, actually, I will take the new team. So it's kind of like we have to take anyone threatening to leave with a grain of salt. Like for all I know, he's going to be back in 2 weeks and he'll reassume his team. I can't rule anything out. So
quitting after this podcast.
He wants us to talk about Anchorage. He wants to talk about how he has 7 first-round picks. He's going to be furious if he doesn't get to talk about that.
Well, all right. Well, we can talk about is 7 first-round picks. Are they like 1, 2, 3, 4? Like where are they?
He has 1-1.
He does
1-1. Okay,
but I'm not sure the rest of them fall.
Yeah.
So to
put it
be
in the
clear
chat
here,
for us.
so to be clear here for people who don't know, the draft picks here are just for the rookies coming up in this draft class 2026.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so 101, I would assume Jeremiah Love, unless like tears the ACL or something.
Unlikely. I mean, he might take Love. So just to give some context, we should have said this for the draft. So one context of the BDL is we draft about 2 to 3 weeks before the NFL draft. I always forget where it falls. And because our league also needs to fill every single position.
Right. Every position. I for some reason, like brain fart, I thought just fantasy. Yeah. Okay. So Arvell Reese probably then I would assume.
And I think also Fernando Mendoza is probably on the table for the roster too, just because the main QB on that roster is Cam Ward. So there could be a Fernando Mendoza decision.
Okay. Well, this helps the Anchorage person who may or may not be listening. Charlie Campbell. What'd you say?
He's listening.
He's listening. Okay. Charlie Campbell is the most accurate mock drafter in the world. He spoke to sources, and like the best comparison he got for Fernando Mendoza was Joe Flacco with mobility. Which I think he would definitely take. I mean, Flacco by himself won a Super Bowl, albeit with Ray Lewis, but still, with mobility though, I think that's it's pretty good. And he's really the only safe quarterback in this class. Like there's Ty Simpson who might go around the middle part of the first round. I don't think he's that good. And then you have a bunch of guys who can go like second or third round, like Nussmeier, Drew Aller from Penn State. There's Chambliss from Ole Miss. We thought he would come out, but he's going back to school. So this draft class for quarterbacks sucks. But next year's draft class for quarterbacks is gonna be great. So
for the record, we have a depth chart thread, right? And he already has Mendoza on his team.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he's taking Mendoza. That's not really
yeah. That's funny.
Yeah. The only thing, Walt, I always have to laugh when people are like, "Oh, the next QB draft class is great." I remember last year everyone telling me this draft class was good. So like, I do think it's like
it's true.
Like this draft class stinks, but like everyone promised Nussmeier was great. Everyone promised me Clay Kubnik was going to be good. Like, and now everyone's like, "Oh, they're undraftable trash," and you're like, "Okay, what changed?" And I know a lot did, but the games have to get played. People are going to stink. Like I might not be the hugest Mendoza fan, but I do think like at the same time, like you just can't always hope for the future.
You're 100% right. Everyone always says, "Oh, next year's draft class so great." But in fairness, in like this scenario, it's actually like true because people thought Arch Manning was going to come out. I didn't really think so, but some people thought that he would be the top pick in this class, and he's not coming out. I mean, he doesn't need to. He's got two rich uncles and his rich grandfather. They this whole Manning family set up, and plus now in college you get paid to be there. So
that's the reason.
This guy has no reason to come out. Why would he want to go to the Raiders anyway if he did? So next year's number one pick could be the Jets. He could go to the same stadium where his uncle played, or maybe it's the Dolphins, and it doesn't sound as exciting, but no state tax in Florida, so that could be appealing. But that is like the main thing, that like Arch Manning is not in this quarterback draft class. If he were, it would be Arch Manning Mendoza at 1-2, and suddenly that would look a lot better,
Not for Mendoza, go to the Jets, but
for Mendoza. Like, why would you want to go to the Jets? I said that Arch would want to go to where his uncle played, but then I was like, yeah, you're right. Like, you don't want to play for Woody Johnson necessarily. Yeah. That's what a disaster that is. Talk about PFF grades. That's what they draft on. Oh no, it's Madden. Sorry, Madden rating. It
was Madden rating. It was really worse.
Yeah, the Vikings GM was the PFF grades. Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. It was revealed that he just drafted players based on PFF grades.
Interesting.
So didn't quite work out. He traded in his first draft. He gave the Lions Jameson Williams. He moved down 20 spots and got Lewis Cine, the safety. Didn't really work out. he gave one of his arch rivals a super talented receiver, and he got a crappy safety in return. So it's not good. So yeah, he did a lot. He did a lot that wasn't very good. He took JJ McCarthy. He traded up for JJ McCarthy. So it's been a disaster for the Vikings. So the guy with the top pick is going to take Mendoza, you said, or
sure. Yeah.
So he has 6 other first round picks then. All right. Or like any top 5 or or what?
He had 1.5, but he just traded out of it to 1.7. I don't know. Did he put him in the chat? I think it's Bishop. Do you know? Can you give us like where are your 7 picks? We can't keep track of all your ridiculous assets.
How do you get these assets?
I mean,
I
don't remember.
He trades. He won. He's won 2 championships, and he just he wins. And he just trades his teams. Like he traded in one off season, Joe Burrow, JSN, Christian Gonzalez.
Okay.
So that's where he gets these picks. And my favorite thing is people will complain like, "Oh, Bishop has all these picks," but then it's like, "Well, how did he get them? People traded with him. He didn't steal them from anybody."
Just
Yeah.
took 'em.
He gave elite assets away, so it's not like anything. To be fair though, he has my pick, and I could not even tell you why he has my pick anymore.
Well, you trade with him just for when the wind blows the wrong way.
Well, to be fair too, I don't think I've ever said this either. Like, I don't want to even pay first round salaries. I'd rather draft in round 2. Like, I like my cap too much. Like, I think he's gonna owe his like draft class like a ridiculous portion of his cap.
So
Like-
looking at this year's draft, he has 1-1, and then he has 1-6, 1-7, and he has the 9th pick, the 12th pick, and the 14th pick, and the 16th pick.
Okay. So all right, so 6 and 7. That's it's kind of interesting. I mean, I don't know what he needs. You know, there are a lot of good tackles in this class. If you need linemen, he's pretty set, and you get Francis Mauigoa or Spencer Fano. I assume the 2 edge rushers will be gone, David Bailey and Arvo Reese.
At least one of them will probably be gone for sure.
Yeah, Mendoza will be gone. If a team needs a running back, Jeremiah Love. I don't know if you guys downgrade running backs like the NFL has, but
we're probably in the same grouping. Like they slip a little bit. Actually, no. To be fair, we probably don't draft them. We probably draft in line with the first round, but like because we only go 7 rounds deep, which is like round 3.5 for us. We probably in the back end, like some teams will wait until round 6 and 7. We can't do that. So I would say we end up drafting a lot of like in real life round 2 draft expenditure for running backs. So we probably actually overdraft running backs a slight bit.
Okay. I mean, he's a lot of is one of these, super talented running backs, kind of like a Bijan or a Jahmyr Gibbs, who's going to go like top 12. So he's not like a crappy running back who's going to go in the 20s, in the first round. Caleb Downs, he's maybe the best. He's definitely the best defensive back in this class. And then there's Mansour Delane, top corner. There's Kenyon Sadiq, tight end, although it's probably not 6 or 7. But yeah, I mean, it's not like the best class. It's not a horrible class either, though. So 7 first-round picks. He should be able to bolster his roster. I don't know what the rest of his roster looks like, but he should be able to get better, eventually. But I guess a lot of it hinges on how good Mendoza is going to be, which, Flacco with mobility sounds good, but, if he sucks, like there have been plenty of busts in the NFL. So he could certainly be a bust. Like there's no one's like ever safe, like Trevor Lawrence is supposed to be the best quarterback ever. And he was mediocre until this year. And then, he took
this
off.
is why we need to donate to Burnett's for Frogs.
Yep.
Frogs has to make himself feel better because his quarterback just became half decent and was mid for so long.
Who's that?
T.S. Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was a clean transition, Walt. It was all Trevor Lawrence based.
Okay.
Yes.
What is Brunettes for Frogs? Obviously, Frogs is the person in the league. Why Brunettes?
Yeah, so like I can't remember when I made the comment, but we've learned I made a comment recently. I think like he did. The show Schitt's Creek has an actress on it that Frogs has just like crazy eyes for, and I was like, it's not shocking. Anytime anyone posts a picture of a white brunette in this chat, you go nuts, and it like has scarred him now that he thinks that he like has learned secretly after like 30 years of life that he has a type, and it like he posts like daily that it disturbs him deeply that like I had to tell him what his type was. So we just make fun of him constantly for it now. I don't even know why he's disturbed. Why he's disturbed, we have no idea. It's a very like fine thing to have a type you go for, but
oh yeah, why not? It's nothing to be ashamed of. Everyone has a type.
Have him on and like have a therapy session with him, Walt, where you ask him like why he's disturbed by his type. WalterTherapy.com is gonna launch soon. Can't wait for that. She's the daughter of that show, right? I've never seen it. My wife has watched it. I've never seen it. Oh, it's a great show. It's worth. I mean, like it probably hits its stride more in season 2, but it's an awesome show.
It's from what I've seen, it's funny. I just haven't gotten around to it. I've been watching some other TV stuff. We can get to that at the end if you guys want. But anything else going on in this league, or any other debates that we can get to that you guys know of?
I think BB has a few like he's ready to talk about.
I mean, I was thinking about some today. One that comes up a lot. We don't have to get into it, but we always debate like top 10 of each position. And, my favorite is like top 10 quarterbacks because someone will throw out someone ridiculous. But we also like kind of like even positional importance. Like obviously quarterback's number one, but after that, I know, Red Gold, who's in your chat, wanted to pick a bone with you because you said in our last chat about this league that he focuses on in positions that aren't that important.
Okay.
Of course, he won the league this year. So he wanted to come on and make sure you knew that. But yeah, but then we'll get on and we'll have. I know people are going to probably tease me because I always bring it up, but we have one league member that likes to mention that Jared Goff's top 5, and it's like, no, he's not.
Okay, well, I mean, let's do the position first, and then we'll go to Goff. But I mean, there obviously some positions are worth way more than others. Like there's no question about that. We just saw that this past draft in 2025 when you had the top 2 safeties. You had Malachi Starks and Nick Manwari. People thought they'd go in the teens, and Starks went late first round, and Manwari fell to the second round. And they were like by far the top 2 safeties in the class when they got taken off the board. They were the best player available on Kuiper's board, on our board, on like probably other people's boards. They just fell because safety isn't viewed as a premium position. The same thing can be said about tight ends. Tight ends usually go later than people expect. Obviously, there are a couple of exceptions, but they usually go later. Running backs, unless they're elite of the elite, they will go later. And I'm not talking about like Caleb Downs, for example. Like he's elite. Like he's going to go top 10. Like he's just an unbelievable player, kind of like Kyle Hamilton was. And for running backs, kind of like Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Saquon Barkley from several years ago. Like the blue chip guys are going to go where they go. But it's like the second tier where like they're going to go way later than the other second tier players from other positions. So you have safety, tight end, running back, defensive tackle that does not get to the quarterback, like the run stuffing defensive tackle. They usually fall. Like they're usually the guys who fall. Like they're like, oh, why is this guy available? It's like, well, he stops to run well, but he can't get to the quarterback, so he's gonna go second round. And then to a lesser extent guard, but I think that's kind of gained in importance with the NFL becoming more of a passing league over the past 2 decades. So yeah, I mean, and the premium positions, I mean, obviously quarterback is number one, but then the old saying is, to win the NFL, you need a quarterback, you need to protect the quarterback, and you need to get to the other quarterback. So anything that goes with that, that's like quarterback is the tier 0. And then tier 1 would be left tackle, and then edge rusher, and then defensive tackle who can get to the quarterback. Like those would be the top 3. And then you have like tier 2, which is like receiver, and cornerback, and that's probably it for tier 2. And then you get your other positions. So like there is a hierarchy, and some teams won't draft lower value positions. The Eagles are a classic example of that. Like over the years, they've always drafted offensive line, defensive line, quarterback, corner, receiver in the first round. They never go after running back the first round. They never go after safety the first round. They just don't value it as high. Some teams do, but they don't. And the Chiefs now with Andy Reid don't do that. The Bills generally don't do that. I know that specifically, and like I'm not sure there are other teams as well, but there definitely is a hierarchy for these positions.
Yeah, I agree with all your top, the top of it. Well, I do think the NFL is a little reactionary though. So like I have a couple players in my mind that are going to go like really early in this draft. Like the one that sticks out to me, like I think the Seattle winning Super Bowl is going to have a huge like Manwari effect. I think we're going to see like a guy like Kyle Lewis from Pitt at the linebacker position get like massively overdrafted. Because I think they're going to be like, oh, it's Nick Manwari all over again. He looked amazing at the Senior Bowl. I think the idea that like a safety that's not like a center fielder but can like be played in your standard packages, like allow you to like stay in your base formation. Like I think we're going to see the NFL like overdraft like some tweener guys that remind them of what Seattle did. And then on top of that too, I think tight end is growing. Like, I don't think tight end is as low as it used to be. Like I always annoy actually like our Anchorage owner here where because he's a Roma Dunze owner, where I was a huge Bears supporter this year. And I was like, the Bears might be the only team that lost their wide receiver one and got better just by being forced to play 2 tight ends. Like we're significantly better out of 12 personnel the minute it happened. That was a huge reason why the Bears were on like a tear of looking better. I think like, and we saw the Rams with like kind of a weak tight end core actually like look awesome out of 13 personnel. I think a lot of teams are like, you're just so good running out of that formation. If you can get enough tight ends to function, you look way better. So I think tight end I wouldn't have in the bottom anymore, especially after 2 top 15 tight ends go and both were awesome in the first year. I think that's a position that will change.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I mean, the NFL is always a copycat league, so they see these tight ends succeeding. Seattle had a couple tight ends too with Barner and Arroyo. So yeah, I mean, and the Patriots used Henry and Hooper, and of course Westover to block. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it is a copycat league. So yeah, I mean, look, the Loveland and Tyler Warren last year, I thought were maybe not like tier 1 prospects, but they're like right below that. And so that's why they went so early. Although when Loveland went, I think a lot of people were like, really? Like, you know, maybe he should go in the 20s, and he started slowly, but the way he finished was, I mean, he looked terrific down the stretch. Like
I think he's already the best tight end in the NFL. I'll stake my claim there. I think he's the best. I think he's like, if from a blocking, if you're gonna do, and this, so that's how I get back in the good side of Scoundrel here, who I kind of like made fun of Roma Dunze being out and the Bears getting better, but Loveland blocks better than almost any other. And I'm going to put George Kittle to the side because he's going to basically be hurt all next year. Other than George Kittle, Loveland blocks like a legit like third string blocking tight ends while also giving you like borderline elite receiving production. So I think like, not that Brock Bowers is not bad at any facet of the game, but I think that's the name that comes up. I would much rather in a standard offense in the NFL have a guy like Colston Loveland because you can keep on the field and he's like just a completely like huge asset when you're running the ball. And like, I think his receiving grade, even by PFF, we'll use PFF today, like is actually higher than Brock Bowers this year too, as a rookie. So to like Brock Bowers is dominant and already Colston Loveland outproduced him in his rookie year as well. So it's kind of
Red Gold tells no lies. Trey McBride.
McBride,
yeah. McBride. Well, as far as blocking, I mean, Loveland's a better blocker than McBride, but yeah, I mean, McBride is such a weapon. I love, by the way, last year everyone's like, "Oh, McBride can't score touchdowns. This guy sucks in the end zone." And then like Kyler Murray gets hurt, and all of a sudden, like he can't stop scoring touchdowns. This guy's a touchdown machine.
He needed a real QB, Walt. Like, what are you gonna do? Brissett is just unstoppable.
Brissett, he set a record, I think, in the San Francisco game. What is it for completions or something? He was insane in that second half. Of course, it had something to do with the Niners being horrible defensively, but still, it was those numbers that they put up in garbage time were amazing. And yeah, I mean, all they needed was a quarterback who could see over the line of scrimmage. That really helped.
It just speaks to how bad the quarterback situation was before.
Yeah, I mean, they soft benched Murray. Like, you know, he probably could have came back and like, now we're gonna go Brissett. You're done. You can go play your Call of Duty and have fun.
They gave him the same like how JJ McCarthy sat suspiciously a little too long for that injury. Like they gave him the same like soft benching.
Yes, that happened as well. Well deserved too, because he was really bad, and especially he got a little bit better toward the end, although against bad defenses. Yeah, it was that was a big disappointment, and no surprise, by the way, that the Vikings reached out to the Bengals to try to trade for Joe Burrow. The Bengals basically told them to buzz off, but the Bengals are like, you have to give us 3 first-round picks, multiple defensive starters, and I think something else too. But and I think if the Vikings like, all right, let's do it. I think the Bengals were like, oh, can you throw in something else? You know, I feel like I got that vibe from them, but it just goes to show that the Vikings are, I think, pretty aggressive in trying to replace JJ McCarthy, because they know that their roster is awesome. Like, they have a great defense. Their defense was ranked 7th last year. Brian Flores, great coordinator. Their line was injured a lot last year, but like when healthy, they were great blocking. They obviously have Jefferson, Hawkinson, Addison. The running game solid. I love Kevin O'Connell as a coach. Like, the only thing they don't have is a quarterback. And I took a bet on him to win the Super Bowl this year. I bet him at 55-1. just on the prospect of them potentially trading for someone. Because like if they reach out to the Bengals, like who else are they going to reach out to? You know, like what if they reach out to someone and crazier things have happened. What if a team just like wants to move on from a quarterback and we don't know about it, and they trade for someone? I don't even know who that would be on the top of my head, but I think that something could happen. And at the very worst, they get Kirk Cousins, who's amazing for Kevin O'Connell. He had his best years under Kevin O'Connell. So I don't know. I'm not a Vikings fan, Bishop. People ask me all the time, they're like, who is your team? I'm like, the team I'm betting on is my team. That's how I stand. Although I do have a Seahawks hoodie as a body burner. We'll tell you.
Yes, you wore to Chick-fil-A on Monday like a giant homer loser.
I know. Well, I did some work for them in the past, so yeah, I have to. It was free gear, so like you can't turn that down. So as far as positions are concerned, body burner, do you have any feedback on that?
No, I largely agree. Like basically, quarterbacks by itself at 0 tier or S tier or whatever people call it, and then I kind of just do like opposing. So like protecting the quarterback's important. Like the next tier would be protecting the quarterback and getting to the quarterback. So your tackle and then your edge rusher, and the below that would be give the quarterback a weapon and stop that weapon. So wide receiver, cornerback. Yeah. And then like below that would be like your interior linemen, and then on both sides, your guards and centers and your defensive tackles.
Yeah, and if you're Al Davis, kicker too, because
kicker.
Kicker of the first round of the draft.
Yeah.
Which is just unbelievable. So we had a Jared Goff mention. Someone thinks Jared Goff's a top 5 quarterback.
Well, the guy
go ahead.
The guy that owns Jared Goff on his team thinks Jared Goff's a top 5 quarterback.
Okay.
And I don't even think that's even exaggerating what has been said. I'm only kind of teasing that one particular thing, but generally speaking, when we debate rankings of positions, it's going to be guys are homers, so their players get bumped up.
Yeah, that's understandable. So this is not as bad as Geno Smith being a top 10 quarterback, as Mina Kimes pointed out before the season when Seattle replaced Geno Smith with Sam Darnold, and she's like, it's a terrible trade. Geno Smith's the top 10 quarterback. Jared Goff.
To be fair, I also was with Mina Kimes. I definitely said that as well. So
did you really? Okay.
The rest of my QB predictions were 100% true, but I was wrong on Geno Smith. I'm a Geno Smith truther.
Are you? I'll say this: his metrics are great if you look at like his EPA stats and stuff like that. But then
not this year. They're
no, not this year. No, definitely not this year. Before this year. But if you dig deeper, like most of his positive stats came in garbage time when they were down like 3 touchdowns.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
so he fooled a lot of people with his stats.
I do find it interesting though, like, and I'm not. I there's also the chance just at his age too that we're never going to see another good play from Geno Smith. But
that's true.
The thing that was alluring, I think, to people like me who were a little bit of the Geno Smith truthers was his entire career is going to be backup to playing for like the worst O-lines at every stop he goes to. So I just think like his O-line play was like similar to what we malign in the Super Bowl for Drake May. Like actually worse. Like to be honest, like if you watch a Raiders game, you're like I thought I was watching like a bad college team block. Like Ashton Genty was getting hit in the backfield every play if you try to hand the ball off. So I don't think there's a single QB in the NFL that could have salvaged what the Raiders try to put out there. So I don't even know that like we even know. Like people could have been better than Geno for sure, and I think they should have abandoned ship. But I don't know that like anyone behind there. Like I don't think we know what Ashton Genty is. We don't really. Like, I'm actually surprised Brock Bowers has the numbers he had, considering he was hurt and he still scored like pretty effectively when he played. But that Raiders team was just. And they should have just stopped playing games. Like I think it was actually dangerous. Like how bad they were.
it's like a little league where the other team goes up 10. They're like, call the game.
Yeah, it was scary. Like the fact that did Ashton Genty get hurt? I don't think he did, but like I'm shocked he's not hurt. Like coming out of that season, it was like a Derek Carr season for a running back, basically.
Yeah, he had the worst yards before contact in the NFL. He actually had negative yards before contact. He was getting hit in the backfield. Like he had no chance. Saquon Barkley, by the way, had the second worst yards before contact. And on the flip side, we mentioned the Bears earlier. I think DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai had the third and fourth best yard before contact. Like their offensive line was amazing. It just goes to show what a great offensive line could do. The Bears, they signed 3 guys in the offseason, the prior offseason, and Caleb Williams went from getting sacked 63 times to like 24, 26 times. And the running game was so much better. And you saw what the Bears did. They went from being a crummy team to going 11-6, winning the division. But you're right. Like the Raiders line is so bad. Andy Isco, who is our Wednesday co-host, he comes on all the time Wednesday, and he's been a professional handicapper since 1990. He said on the show, he's like, this Raider offensive line is the worst offensive line I've ever seen playing football. That's how bad it was.
I was so stunned every week that I'm like, it's got to be better than I remember. And it was just always, as a Raiders fan, it was like really like a rough experience. So
yeah, are you a Raiders fan?
Oh yeah, I grew up a Raiders fan. My dad was a Raiders fan in the 70s.
Okay.
So I root for the Raiders, and then like I'm similar to you. Like I had a lot of bets on the Bears to win the Super Bowl, so I also watched every Bears snap this year and had a great time. But it's sort of like lifelong fan. It's always been the Raiders.
Okay, yeah. Well, Andy lives in Las Vegas, so you were both watching the Raiders pretty closely there. That's man, it was really rough seeing those guys block, especially after Colton Miller got hurt. Like he was the only good player you had on the line, and then he goes down. And then you guys also lost like a couple of starters. Not that they were good or anything, but then you had guys who were even worse than them coming in, and it was just a disaster.
And they oddly gave up on Jackson Powers Johnson, which scared me even more. Where you're like, oh, so is he just a dead asset? Like if he can't play when I'm seeing like literally the worst offensive lineman I've ever seen in my life, then I don't know what we have. So you just got to assume he's just a washed asset then. So you're starting all the way over besides Colton Miller, like you said.
Yeah, for sure. We had a question here from Stanley. Would it be smart for the Giants to draft Caleb Downs at 5 since teams will draft him at 11, 15? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. As I said before, Caleb Downs is one of these special players who should go early. He's not like, Jacob Montgomery is awesome in the NFL, but he was not seen as a Caleb Downs entering the draft. Had he been, then yeah, he should have gone in the same area. But yeah, I mean, look, I think he's probably going to be the best player available for the Giants with no Reese and no Bailey available. And it's like Giants don't even need another edge rusher. So yeah, the Giants had such bad plays in the secondary this year. So whatever they can do to bolster the secondary, I think Downs should go either 4 or 5, probably 5. So, yeah. And then, yeah. So, okay. So yeah, Loveland. It makes sense. Loveland is 10-1 now. Is that,
See, RG's fired up and drunk in the chat, but like, all right, while we're on the QBs, let's address the championship win, right? So while QBs were mentioned, RG famously had both Jordan Love and Matt Stafford as his backup, and in Matt Stafford's MVP season, refused to put him in the game. He just so happened to deal with the Jordan Love injury perfectly for the week of the championship, and then started his best QB to win. So we got RG in the chat. We'll see like what hate messages I get.
Claims that Love was more consistent and Stafford had more blow-up moments. Or sorry, Stafford had more blow-up moments than Love, and Love was just a more consistent quarterback. That's why he played him all year. The truth is, he traded a bunch of picks for Love and got Stafford in free agency or Shark Tank, really, right?
Yeah, Shark Tank.
And that's why.
I feel like Stafford is more consistent. No, I mean he had 44 touchdowns. How's that not consistent? I don't know. I mean, he had a bad game against the Panthers, but
I don't know. This is your time, Walt. Tee off. He's not going to listen to us. So.
Jordan Love, I think Jordan Love is one of the most inconsistent quarterbacks in the NFL. Like he looks amazing sometimes. Like that Steeler game on Sunday Night Football where he completed 20 passes in a row. He looked like Brett Favre and Rodgers. But then he has games where he throws off his back foot like a rookie, and he just gets into trouble. Like I think it wasn't the Bengals game. It was one of the games where they were a big favorite. I think the Panther game. He was just like dreadful in that game, and it's like that's been his whole career. Like even last year, like he had some amazing moments, and then down the stretch against the Vikings, especially as the Week 17 game against the Vikings, he was throwing off his back foot every play, and they just got buried. The Vikings took a big lead. The Packers, to Love's credit, he came back and they made it a close game, but like. The reason why the Vikings led so much is because the Packers couldn't move the ball with Jordan Love. So, and I usually find that like when Christian Watson's out, that's when Love just regresses. And I thought that Matthew Golden joining the team via the draft last year. I thought that would help, but he didn't really do that much. And I think Tucker Kraft getting hurt hurt him a little bit too. And then Watson got hurt in that Denver game. I think that Denver game is a good example of that too. Like Love was really good in like the first half of the game, but then when Watson went down, and also Zach Tom went down too. That didn't help. He got a lot worse, and the Packers didn't score a single point after that. After Watson and Tom got hurt, so I know that because I bet the Packers, and it took that loss unfortunately. Yeah. But I was more anti-Denver. I was anti-Denver all year. I was betting against Denver like crazy, and it worked for most of the time. So no, I can't agree at all with Love being more consistent. I think Stafford is definitely way more consistent. Like when did Stafford have a bad game? You could say, like I said, the Panther game, he threw he made like 2 really bad turnovers in that game, although he still threw for 3 touchdowns. And then the Niner game on Thursday Night Football, where it just seemed like the Rams didn't show up to play. Like they just took the game for granted, and then they walloped the Niners the next time they play them. So
just the Bears game in the playoffs. Other than that, I can't think of any other games.
Yeah, that was super cold weather. It
was windy too, to be fair.
Yeah, it's a dome team playing in like 7-degree wind chill. I could see that was not a good game. But then the Seattle game, he was much better. The only reason the Rams lost, well, not the only reason. I think one of the main reasons why the Rams lost to Seattle in the playoffs was because their punt returner fell down and tried to still field the punt. That was stupid, but yeah, that was ridiculous. But no, I mean Stafford won MVP for a reason, and I can't point to like any dreadful game that he had, and only a couple of bad games. So.
Would you say, because would you say that a team having an MVP quality performance on the bench, would that affect a locker room, Walt? Because maybe we can see what RG's got his roster. And he's just like, I can't play this guy. He's like unplayable. He's like borderline Saracen. He's got no athletic talent at all. I just can't put this guy Stafford in the game. Like, would that affect the other position players? Like, should we have factored that in to the morale?
Matthew Saracen catching strays here on the show, man.
If we really want to fire up RG, Walt, real quick, barbecue or Italian food? What do you pick?
Oof. Well, my wife's Italian, so it would be difficult for me to pick barbecue. Look, I love both. Why not both? It's a great. If you said like Chinese food or something, I'd definitely pick the other. I don't like food where there's like sauce in it and you can't really see what the sauce is, or something weird. Like the egg rolls. Like what's in there? I have no idea. Like they can tell you. I'm not sure. You have to break it up and see inside. That's like I really bothers me. Every sandwich I get is plain. Like we go to Red Robin every the first Wednesday of each month because kids eat free, and when you have 2 kids and you can get a cheap meal, you have to take it. They're double cheeseburgers.
Well, you're giving RG too much ammunition. He's going to be like, this is even worse food takes than me. So RG's got the high ground on you here, I think.
No. And so in Red Robin, you get the double cheeseburger. It comes with mayo. Like that's so disgusting. Like who orders mayo on anything? It's horrible.
Well, you once thought I once got you to eat calamari by telling you it was fried chicken, and you believed me.
It looked like fried chicken. Like it's a dark restaurant.
Calamari's delicious. Calamari's fried chicken.
Sorry,
it was good. It was a dark restaurant. It looked like fried chicken. I tried it. It's not like, oh, I don't want it. It's like my son is like, here, try this. Like, no, I don't want it. No, like it's Walt, no mayo. Ugh. I what kind of deranged lunatic gets mayo?
Well, he puts ketchup on everything now, RG.
Oh, I put ketchup on everything too. When I was 4 or 5, I used to eat ketchup sandwiches. Ketchup bread. That was it. It was amazing.
EB, do we know if Walt and RG are the same person? Like I've never been in the
same
room.
I have seen them in the same room. This is true.
Like this could just be like he even did like the Jordan Love slander just to like throw us off the scent, but he might be the same guy.
I've actually been in the BDL this whole time. You guys didn't know. And you can't see my fingers. I've been typing in this chat.
RG's worried about getting banned from this chat for some reason, and I don't know why he's nervous.
I have never banned anyone ever for anything. I have muted people for I've never blocked anyone either. But like if someone like gives out spoilers to TV shows, that's where I draw the line. So I mute people. And this guy who he works for CBS Sports, and he actually gives out good tweets. He was I don't want to mention his name, but like he was the final season of Game of Thrones. He was actually like live tweeting his thoughts on the show, and I was like half an hour behind before we're putting our son to bed. And so I'm on Twitter, I see like spoilers, and like, dude, like what the heck? And so I muted him, and like a couple years later, I'm like, you know what? It just dawned on me. I'm like, I haven't seen tweets from this guy. And I realized I hadn't muted him for 2 years because he gave out Game of Thrones spoilers.
That's great.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So no to ketchup on a sandwich.
I have
don't knock it until you try it.
RG uses mayo as a binder and smothers all meat in ketchup.
All meat? Well,
all meat.
Can you get A1 sauce? Because that's
no,
that's
it's just he uses mayo as a binder for all his dry rubs, smokes it in pressure treated wood that he gets at Home Depot, and then smothers all the meat in ketchup.
Okay. I still would go A1 sauce personally. His own meat too.
I can't agree with A1 sauce. It's so gross, but
dude, A1 sauce is the best. Arby's had steak nuggets. They advertised them. I don't know if you saw the commercials.
Wait, you've eaten at Arby's?
Yeah, I would not go to Arby's.
Wait. Arby's is the best. My daughter goes. My daughter goes, can we go Arby's?
Your daughter's 2.
You're the youngest. I've never met anyone who wasn't a senior citizen that told me they went to Arby's.
No, we had Tom on the show on Friday. Or he's 4 years younger than me. He said Arby's is the best fast food place.
This is crazy to me.
Even I don't think you've been to Arby's in a while. They've changed.
Not at all.
Hey, look, Quacky's on. Quacky, tell him Arby's great, please tell him Arby's is great. No, you guys haven't been there in a while. They changed their menu. See, he's Tom
all caps. He's yelling at us too. He's furious.
All caps. Yeah. This is serious, man. No, they've changed their menu. Like they went like the opposite. Like 10 years ago, everyone was getting healthy. They're like, screw this, we're not going healthy. We went like all meats. Like their slogans, we have the meats. No, they have some great stuff there. Their cheeseburgers are great too. But they have these steak nuggets. And it's just what you would expect. Just steaks cut up in nuggets. And what I would do is I would get A1 sauce, dip the nuggets and steak in A1 sauce. And then it dawned on me. I'm like, wait a second, this is stupid. It's served in a cup. I just poured the A1 sauce in the cup. And God. I was it's like cereal. I was digging out the steak nuggets with my fork. It was drenched in A1 sauce. It was like the best thing I've ever had in my life.
Your sodium count must be off the charts.
When do kids eat free at Arby's? Well, we'll go.
Well, I don't know if they do. That's it's so disappointing because my daughter always says she wants to go to Arby's. I'm like, well, that's not free food. We have to go to these free restaurants and not pay a lot in this economy.
That's why we were at Monday. We go to Chick-fil-A. The kids eat free. Yes,
kids eat free every Monday. Chick-fil-A with an adult meal. So we go there every Monday, and then first Wednesday of each month is free. Kids eat free at Red Robin. So yeah, there you go. That's our schedule. Man, you guys don't know the legend of new Arby's. Yeah, it's brand new. They redid the whole thing. It's great now.
All right,
we'll have to try it.
Yeah, don't knock it. Try it.
And apparently the cobbler bites are good or something.
I have not had the cobbler bites. I'll have to try them. How much do they pay you? This podcast is sponsored by Arby's.
It's Prudence for Frogs. Andy Murphy's been on the screen for an hour. So
this podcast is sponsored by Annie Murphy at this point. She's been there for at least 45 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know her name. I'd always see I saw her in the show when my wife was watching, but I didn't actually know the actress's name. But serious question here. Since the Giants hired John Harbaugh, do you think they still would be a rollover to the Cowboys? They still would be a rollover to the Cowboys? Okay, so he thinks would the Giants be worse than the Cowboys or Eagles? I think the Giants are better than the Cowboys already.
I agree.
I still think the Eagles are the best team in the division. But they were declining. Lane Johnson's always hurt now. Leonard Nickerson wants to retire. Apparently, there's a feud between Hurts and Brown. The coordinator was terrible last year. Maybe Manuel will be better. We'll see. The defense is still great though, but I don't know. They are on a team. They are a team on the decline, and the Giants are an ascending team. So I don't think it'll be this year, but I could see it. I could see the Giants surpassing the Eagles at some point in the future, maybe 2 years from now or something.
And Neighbors should come back too, right? Like Neighbors he should be fine for the start of the season, right?
Yeah, I think so. He got hurt in week 4, so he should be ready. Do you see those IHOP neighbors commercials? By the way, they're so good.
No,
I've not seen that.
It's so great. He's like eating at IHOP, and some kid comes up and is like, "Hey, it's Malik Neighbors." He's like, "Oh, hi, kid. Do you want an autograph?" He's like, "No, you ruined my fantasy team." It's so good. They're such great commercials. Yeah, he'll be back. Jackson Dart, second year, should be better. Cam Scatabo is going to come back. I saw a report yesterday that he'll be ready by April. So, and then John Harbaugh. Like, think about some of the teams that have improved recently, like out of the blue. Like the Patriots went from 4 wins to 13 with a new head coach, Mike Vrabel. The Bears went from terrible team to an 11-win team with a new head coach. The Chargers, they went from a perennial disappointment. Now they haven't had success in the playoffs, but they've been to the playoffs 2 years in a row with Jim Harbaugh. Jaguars went from a team that disappointed 2 years in a row to a team that won 13 games with Liam Cohen. Like these upgrades in the coaching staff mean so much, and it just doesn't impact the salary cap at all. So it's like a free upgrade basically. Giants going from either just a failed head coach or / interim head coach to John Harbaugh. And I know John Harbaugh's teams haven't like quite lived up to their billing recently, although they did win 13 games 2 years ago. But I think that's such a big upgrade. Like I love the Giants next year for over win totals. Like I think their win total is like 7.5. I think they will go over.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah, I think they can go like 10-7 or something and make the playoffs. Yeah.
Also, for that 2 years ago team, I think it's important because I don't know if we'll watch this, but if this is against you, Pete, like if it wasn't for Mark Andrews completely imploding in the playoffs,
oh yeah,
John Harbaugh might have a Super Bowl. I mean, like Lamar Jackson was having his by far best season. I think didn't Mark Andrews have like 3 drive-killing fumbles / drops?
Drops.
Like
he fumbled twice and dropped the 2-point conversion.
So I was thinking 3 total like net essentially turnovers in the fourth quarter.
And I think one of those drops, like the next play, does Lamar get sacked and it causes like I can't remember. It was something like either Lamar. It would have been a first down if Andrews caught it, and then the next play, like Lamar gets blown up and it's like a punt.
I'm trying to think. It's been
I'm not
it's
sure.
been 2 years, but that whole Mark Andrews should have been cut from that team. I'm surprised it kept him.
I'm surprised he didn't bounce back. I like I said last season, I'm thinking like if I'm Mark Andrews, I'm waking up every day and looking myself in the mirror. I'm like, man, I really sucked. Like I'm gonna work so hard to get better. And he had a disappointing year. Now to be fair, like the entire Ravens team was injured at one point.
They were.
So it wasn't quite his fault, but I did expect better. I thought he'd bounce back, but maybe he's just
freshly folded laundry. Walter.
He's
watched.
He'll be excited that we trashed him, though. Pete will really love this segment of the show. So,
and he doesn't like.
I don't think he's that old, RG. I think he's like younger than you think. Like I think he's like
30. He just turned 30.
Oh, I thought he was like 29. So I guess I'm a little.
No, he turns 31 in September.
Okay, well, I was gonna look it up. He said, he turns 31 September. That's not that old. I mean, Kelsey had a half decent year and he's in his mid-30s, and not that I want to compare someone to Kelsey, but Hunter Henry's just as old. He had an amazing season.
Yeah.
So
Hunter Henry's a better quarterback.
That's at least he had a healthy quarterback. Lamar got hurt in week 4 and was never 100% ever again. So that really affected the Ravens. I think the Ravens bounce back too, by the way. Speaking of we talk about how the Patriots go from easiest schedule to toughest. Like the Ravens play the NFC South next year, so there's going to be some free wins, and they also get the Steelers twice, they get the Browns twice. They have some other easy games mixed in there. I think both North divisions they play the NFC South. The Lions, especially, the Lions have like one of the easy schedules I've ever seen. This year at least. Like they outside of their division, of course. The division games are tough, but they play the NFC South. And they also play the Jets. They play the Bills. They play the Titans. They play the Cardinals, and they play the Giants. like because they have a 4th place schedule. So
They have,
I think
they have a top 5 QB, Walt. So how could they possibly be stopped?
yeah, it's a great segue there. So we didn't talk about Jared Goff being a top 5 quarterback. So do you think this guy would have made that statement if Goff wasn't on this team?
No.
He just points. You mentioned earlier, like you look at his stats and things. That's all he points to, like his yards and his touchdowns. And doesn't look at the fact that he's on one of the best rosters. And I made the comment. I don't think Goff elevates that team. I think it's everyone around him, and Goff just doesn't make the big mistake. He just kind of he's like a modern day game manager.
I think he's better than a game manager. You know, he has like real good ability. I mean, he was the number 1 pick in the draft for a reason, you know. So I wouldn't say that.
So was
like,
Jamarcus Russell. What the fuck? What does that mean?
Well, Jamarcus Russell, according to Mike Mayock, said he had the best pro day he had ever seen in his life. Like this guy had it's just a golden arm, mobility, and everything, but he just had nothing up here, and he just couldn't. And also his work ethic was terrible. He ballooned to 300 pounds at one point. I even joked him like he should move to offensive line to prolong his career. It was like he was going to be out of the NFL, and I mean he was. So, you know, so I mean Jared Goff he's definitely not a top 5, and we can just go by you know divisions and talk about who's better. Like I would think that. Like I would say Dak Prescott and Jalen Hurts are better. Like first of all, just in the NFC East, and that is brutal because Jalen Hurts is coming off of like kind of a disappointing year where he didn't run as much and like his passing was substandard. But what he did in the Super Bowl, in both Super Bowls, like it's just better than what Jared Goff has done in the playoffs. Like Jared Goff gets to the playoffs and he in the Super Bowl he forgot his snap count. Like how do you forget your own snap count? That's insane to me. You know, tell the other team the number you're going on, and just you forget right away. Like it's crazy. And so in the I'll say in the NFC West, you have Stafford, you have Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. Like that's 8 right there. And we're not Drake May. Like I would take Drake May over Stafford, like over Goff. That's 9. So, I mean, you want to put Goff 10? Like, I think Goff's probably 9 to 12. I don't know if you guys agree with that.
I think it's a fair range. I mean, I think there's like a certain range where like the top 10 stuff's tough because like I actually think there's like groupings. I think you have like this super elite, like 4 or 5 guys that like really give you a massive advantage. And then you probably have like a couple guys that are just slightly better than the like 8 to like 15 range. So like, whether Goff is 12 or 15, it doesn't really mean a lot to me. Like, I think it's like pretty similar.
Okay. What about you?
Yeah, I don't think he's like a garbage quarterback. I do I'm over the top and like sarcastic with it because I'm kind of trolling in a way with that guy. But he's definitely not in the top 5. I think that's a fair range. Like 10 to 15 is pretty reasonable.
Yeah. Yeah, Herbert grows. I put Herbert on the Lions behind that line and those receivers and those running backs. Like, he'd do better than Goff did.
Yes, RG, how dare you? Herbert got 1 MVP first place vote. How dare you like this?
I maintain that Josh Allen should have won MVP this year.
Were you one of the 2 Josh Allen voters, Walt? Is this you like doxing yourself?
Well, first of all, they wouldn't let me vote. They banned me from the combine, so Goodell's not going to let me vote anytime soon.
Wait, you're banned from the combine? I didn't know that.
I'm banned from the both Charlie and I are banned from the combine. Yeah. You guys want to know why?
What did you do?
Yeah.
So we apply for the combine one year, we get rejected, like surprisingly, and like we're like, what's going on here? And the response is, you do not cover a specific team. And we're like, there are so many other websites that don't cover a specific team. Like, what is this excuse? So Charlie, he has friends in the league office. Charlie talks to everyone, and he heard back like right away. And he said that Roger Goodell is not happy with Walt. Like, why? It's like, he says, because Walt called him a douche.
But like Roger Goodell gets booed when he makes every single pick. Why would he care if someone doesn't like him?
He's upset because I called him a douche because he hid the Ray Rice the Ray Rice video from back in 2012, 2013, whatever year it was. So I called him a douche because
mild for that though.
What'd you say?
Like calling him a douche for that's pretty mild.
I know. Well, he also banned Dave Portnoy from the Super Bowl, so like there's precedent here.
Well, so
yeah.
he does some stuff right then. We'll get you back to the combine, but Dave Portnoy can be banned.
Well, no, but Portnoy had his ban lifted this year.
Really?
Yeah. He asked Goodell on Twitter. He's like, can I be unbanned from the Super Bowl? And so the ban got lifted, and then I quote tweeted him like, "Hey, Roger Goodell, can I be unbanned from the combine?" But unfortunately, he didn't get back to me. So Portnoy's obviously bigger than I am. So maybe if we had that following, we could.
Why don't you just start like grading pizzas, and maybe you'll get as big as Dave Portnoy.
There you go.
Well, maybe if I grade Arby's locations.
Ooh,
that could be a thing, like pizza cobbler bites at every location.
Yeah, I can't do. That's Portnoy's thing. I feel like I'd just be copying him. I'd have to grade other things.
What if you like went to each player's house and you graded them like right outside their door? Like you could just be like, I'm giving like a 5 out of 10 in terms of coverage skills. He's my 15th ranked corner in the draft. I actually think he's kind of low key trash. 4th round at best, and then you just like roll.
I think that would actually I think people would be interested in that.
I think you'd go viral. Like if you'd probably get beaten up by somebody. Like if you gave someone like an undrafted free agent rating, but that would be good TV too.
I mean, just being on the premises, I get beat up by the security. I would not go over well.
They're not in the NFL yet. They're not that rich. I know the NIL money helps, but like they're probably living in like normal towns.
That's true. Well, although with the NIL money, they probably have security at this point, so it would be pretty tough. But I do think that would gain some traction.
Yeah.
I got banned from the combine because I tried to sneak into the bag of Arby's. Nice. No one wants Arby's. Hey, don't talk about that here. We had a question for Stanley. I don't know if you've been paying attention to the NBA. Do you think that Pistons are going to win the finals because they look scary? No, I mean I think it's be Thunder. I actually have a bet on the Spurs at 70-1, so I hope that cashes. I bet that in August, and I have to give my dad credit for that because we're having dinner. He's like I want to bet on a team that is a long shot, and I read him the long shots. He's like Spurs. I'm like okay, so we both bet the Spurs 70-1. So it's gonna be a hedge opportunity at the very least. No, it's
not to interrupt you, Walt. I think you need to ban Red Gold from the chat. He's called me a douche, and I don't appreciate that.
Well, like I said, I haven't banned or blocked anyone ever, so it's like
I
the wild. It's like the Wild West.
That Red Gold is on the Epstein list, and you should ban him.
Wow. Well, on the list. Well, and if you said files, it's like everyone's been in like the Epstein files. Like if you look at like random bands, like All That Remains, like this metal band, they're actually in the files because Epstein got junk mail from them. And so like if you look them up, like they're actually in the files. Like,
I saw one thing that was like the number of times each NFL franchise was mentioned.
Yeah.
Something stupid like that. I'm like, okay.
I'd just like to say, Roger Goodell, I do not affiliate with these two. I am definitively not in the files. Please do not ban me from the future combines I wish to attend. So. I'm very concerned about the number of. I am definitively not in the files.
Someone with your name may be in the files, and you'd be like, you'd be surprised because it's all like junk mail. There's so many emails that come in. So.
It's all just Walt's name everywhere, just being like he's just going after Goodell every day. We need to stop him.
Actually, someone. I was having a Twitter argument with someone, and they're like, "I'm gonna look you up in the Epstein files." I'm like, "Oh no, don't do that." And then he's like, "You're not in." I'm like, "Oh, phew."
Walt, the chat is saying you're in the files. I don't know. Bishop King's coming for you.
I'm not. Someone looked me up. I'm not in the files. Go look. I'm not there. I haven't left the country outside of went to Bermuda on my honeymoon. So
an island, suspicious.
Yeah, you should have stayed mainland, Walt.
Bermuda is great. I loved it there. Serious all the time. No, I saw you there.
He said you're in the FC. I saw you. That's funny.
Yeah. Well, someone already looked, so that was quite the relief. I don't know. I think there was one team. There's one team that wasn't in the Epstein files. You know who that was?
It's got to be the Arizona Cardinals. No one remembers they're in the NFL.
No, they were. I mean, look, like they were once in the Chicago. They were the Chicago Cardinals. That was a big deal, I guess.
The Buffalo Bills.
Nope. And it kind of makes sense if you think about it. the team that's not in there.
New England Patriots, because Robert Kraft bought them.
Well, they're definitely in there.
And it's a current franchise. Like it's like
Current
not like
franchise. Current franchise. Yeah.
Kansas City Chiefs.
No. It's not
Is
the
Andy
Jaguars. It's not the Jaguars.
Is Mahomes himself on the list?
I don't know.
Good question. His brother has to be. Like, there's no way Mahomes' brother is not the Epstein Files.
We did. It was mentioned in the comments. So
If it's the Packers, that makes sense when I saw it.
it was the Texans because
Oh, the
they're like
Texans.
they're like the newest team. You know,
I thought the Packers because they're not like they're owned by shareholders, not a
no one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it like if the Packers could send junk mail to you. You know, I get junk mail from the Bills. Like why am I getting junk mail from the Bills? I get like Bills won. You know, get their jersey. I'm like, why are you sending this to me? I don't know.
Bishop King is now saying Walt and Mahomes' brother were in the same email.
We were both
Walt,
partying together. Yeah.
Are you Mahomes' brother?
Well, I'm also Red Gold, and I'm also Mahomes, his brother. Yes.
Yes.
I refuse to download TikTok, but yes, I'm Mahomes' brother.
I let Quacky talk about Arby's, but him saying Philly Fanatics and the Epstein Files can't be tolerated. That's just good entertainment right there.
The Philly fanatic. He probably is.
No,
I
if
met
he
the guy that-
if he said Gritty, I believe Gritty's in the Epstein Files for sure, but
Yeah.
the Philly Fanatic is wholesome.
I don't know, man. It's been around for a while, and I don't know. He might be into some stuff that we just don't know.
I mean, he does do a lot of pelvic thrusts now that I think about it, so that is a little disturbing, but
Yeah.
Still-
He's been around for a while too. It's not like Gritty's like relatively new, right?
Oh, he's definitely in the files.
yeah, no, Gritty's definitively in the
Gritty's
Files.
definitely-
Gritty might have killed Epstein for all we know.
Well, some people think that he's not dead.
Wait,
Gritty got
maybe
him out.
Epstein
Gritty broke
Epstein
him out.
might be Gritty. Did you ever think of that?
Gritty broke him out of prison. That's what happened. He faked his death. He got him out.
Well, it did come out that
Epstein
they
was in the Gritty costume. That's how they got him out of the.
it did come out that that they had a fake body bag that they took out of there. They even admitted it that they had a fake body bag for some reason. It's like why would they have a fake body bag? And they said it was for the media. It's like what? That doesn't make any sense. Why
I
did
did hear that, so I think I'm with Walt on that one.
That's very strange. I was like, is he alive still? I don't know.
It's weird that we're going to talk about this, but they also did draft the death notice a day ahead of time.
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah,
That's definitive news. Like they accidentally released that in the emails they shared with us, so that is pretty.
Yeah.
disturbing.
yeah. It wasn't like just the dates. You can get the date wrong, but they wrote what Friday instead of Saturday.
I'm pretty sure they did. Because
Yeah.
I watched a whole news segment on it on YouTube. Like Breaking Points covered it, and they were like, "This
Yeah.
is pretty egregious. It's like legitimately a draft from the day before the guy died."
Yeah, how do you confuse Friday and Saturday? I get 14, 15, I guess. Like,
Well, let me just say, as a guy that writes death notices professionally, sometimes you get a phone call Saturday morning and they say XYZ died, and you don't realize it happened Friday night.
okay,
So you might do the day off. Like I've done drafts where it's you have the wrong date of death. Oh, you called me on that day though, but they died. I guess in this case, I'm doing a day later, not a day before.
yeah,
But stupid shit happens.
Well,
Yeah,
Dave, you are on tape defending Epstein now. I just
Well, I
want
am on the list.
Dave's in the files.
I'm in finals. You ever watch the Always Sunny episode where like Frank says something like, "I
Yes.
only went there for the snorkeling." All that
Yeah.
sex stuff, I had no idea what was going on.
Doesn't he say like it was like 5% of went on and it's sullied the whole operation?
I have to watch this show more. I've only seen like 15 episodes or so, 20 episodes.
Well, doesn't Frank also? Yeah, it's so worth watching. I think there's an episode
Yeah.
where Frank does something egregious and he wants to release a song about that he doesn't diddle kids to prove that he's a monster.
We definitely don't diddle kids.
Yeah, that's very nice. I only watched like the first season, and then I just got busy, and I just didn't keep watching. But it was, I mean, I love the show already, so I'm definitely. There's so many shows out there though, like you just have to keep watching them. You guys, I know BB. I already watched Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I thought that was pretty great so far.
No, not yet. I have like, and I probably will watch it. I'll tell you this, like I have a beef with modern like premiere TV now. It's starting to like, maybe it's my old man like years, but like if I have to wait for one more HBO show to give me one season, make me wait 2 years to watch 8 more episodes.
They're
like,
not doing that for this show.
They better not. Like, I mean,
they're already filming season 2. It's every year for this show.
So if that comes out on time, I will go back and watch season 1. I already didn't watch Targaryen season 2 because I legitimately won't rewatch season 1 to remember where I was at. Like I need them to release things on time. Shows can do 24 episodes and then give me another 24 the next year. I need HBO to step up and give me 8 every year. Like it's ridiculous.
Wow, it's only 6 episodes. I'm sorry.
It's even worse. Like, so see what I'm talking about? This is egregious. Like this can't. I don't know. I can't stand it. They need to drop season 2 on time.
6 episodes is pretty bad. I mean, every show used to be 24 episodes a year. Lost was, I think, 24, and then they went to like 16 at the end. But even so, we don't get 16 now. We get 6, 8, or 10. Like most shows are 8 or 10. 6 is kind of crazy. But the show is great so far. So I'll settle for some great TV. No matter what. I've also watched The Staircase recently. I'm watching The Burbs right now on Peacock, which I only have because the NFL made me download it to watch a game. And then I watched it All Her Fault was really good. It's about a kid who gets kidnapped. And then what'd you say?
Didn't hear about that one. That's a new one I haven't heard of.
All Her Fault is really good. And then His and Hers I watched, which had a great twist at the end. I don't know if you guys saw that. Any of these.
No.
Okay. And then a year ago I watched The 8 Show, which is like a kind of sort of like a Squid Game type of show, but definitely radically different. It kind of weird to say it that way, but that was awesome too. Like great twist on the Squid Game there. I assume you guys have both seen Squid Game, right?
I've seen only the first season.
I've seen like the anime equivalent that's like Alice in Borderland that's on Netflix.
I love Alice in Borderland.
I'm a huge Alice in Borderland fan. Even I was told I can't remember if it was RG or not. Someone told me not to watch season 3 if I enjoyed the ending of season 2. So I still haven't watched that yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen season 3.
So I mean, season 2 felt like it ended pretty solidly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I love Alice in Borderland though. I probably rewatched season 1 and 2 instead of season 3.
When season 2 ended, I'm like, this is a perfect ending.
Yeah, it was perfect. I guess maybe it was just so popular, and I'm sure the manga probably had like more like in it, so they probably were like, let's just do a season 3.
Yeah, I mean, look, yeah, if they get paid for it, sure. I think Squid Game probably was just meant for one season, and then they're like, wait, Netflix is like, wait, please make here, take all this money, make season 2. And season 2 was fine. Like, it wasn't great. It was just fine. You're not. I don't think you're missing out on much if you didn't see it.
If you like the Squid Game archetype, did you see Last Samurai Standing on Netflix that dropped this year? So good. I would describe it as like if you did like a Squid Game or Alice in Borderland, but you mixed in like Sengoku era Japan. It's honestly pretty solid. Like the choreography of the fighting alone is pretty good, worth watching.
Okay. Quick, I seen The Staircase, the documentary or the dramatization. Yeah, it was weird because like this is a real murder case, and there was a documentary made about it, and then they made a show about the murder case, and they also had the documentary being filmed in the show that was actually the real documentary. And then you actually like read about the case, and I thought Netflix did an awesome job with it because like everything was perfect. Sansa Stark's in it, but the actress, she's one of the daughters on the show, and Colin Firth is in it too. So it was a great show, and I hadn't heard about the case when I watched it, and then I found out it was like actually like a real thing. So I actually went through like the whole like what happened. It says in the description it's about like the woman, she falls down the stairs and dies. And then the husband gets accused of murder, like either pushing her downstairs or like hitting her like as she was down the stairs. So, and then you're like who did it? It's like one of those things, but it's really good. It's like really like captivating, and they did make a real life documentary about it, which is pretty crazy.
Oh, it's weird. I didn't know it was a show, but I actually do know the case. That's actually kind of weird.
Yeah. That's weird how it's reversed.
I know. A friend of mine is like, I have a bunch of, I know a couple of cops, and I think I heard years ago about this case, like described in detail. I don't even think I know how it ends though, so I could probably still watch it and not actually know like who's guilty here.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. So I mean, you could spoil it and read the case, or you could just watch the show. I think it's definitely worth it. I liked it a lot. In fact, like it was one of those shows where once it was over, I actually rewatched the first episode to like see if like I missed anything, you know. So it's kind of like that. And honestly, The Burbs is kind of like that too. I thought that was it's like a murder/kidnapping mystery. That's pretty good.
Wait, for 6-episode show, did you watch the Chad Power show? I think it's on Hulu.
No, I don't. Hulu. I lost my Hulu subscription.
Goodell got you banned from that too. Sorry.
Well, the NFL games are on it, so maybe they just hiked the price for me.
Well, I was like so against it because I was like, why are we doing a show about like the Eli Manning spoof from like years ago? But sadly, it's like funny the whole time, like almost like embarrassingly funny. So like it's actually like worth checking out. It feels like they intentionally like kind of did like who's like, can we make like the worst ever college QB who everyone hates? And then can we also at times like clearly make him have Aaron Rodgers opinions that like makes it even more entertaining? Like it feels like they intentionally just like jumped, and Eli Manning and I think Peyton Manning were both involved in it too, which is like kind of odd. But it should be bad. Like every moment you're like, this is going to get really, really bad. But for like 6 episodes, they at least held it together.
Okay, interesting. Well, if I ever get Hulu back, if I'm ever unbanned, that'll be good. By the way, speaking of the banning thing, it jokes on Goodell because Charlie still gets like the best info because he knows what to do. Like he'll go to a bar where all the scouts and all the coaches are drinking afterward, and he'll talk to them when they're all nice and loose, and he gets all their best information rather than like if he goes to the combine, he steps aside. It's like he's one of the reporters like, oh, who'd you talk today? And then they're like, oh, I talked to the Giants and the Jets. Like it's like the same questions every single time, every single year. It's the same questions over and over again, and the players never say anything revealing. It's just so stupid. Mm-hmm. Like there's really no reason for the media to be there. It's just like it's like a circus show. So I don't know. I don't even like with Andy, or we were talking about in last night's show, and Andy, who is the co-host Wednesday, he's like, Walt, do you even care if you're unbanned? I'm like, I actually don't. I think it's like funnier that I am banned because I can keep saying it. So
it's crazy that you were like prioritized enough to ban. Like that's actually a good story.
Yeah. I know. I want to keep, but I do want to troll Goodell on Twitter and be like, hey, can I get unbanned? I'm gonna keep asking him that. See what happens. Let's see. Anything else in the chat here? Do you think Netflix is better than Hulu and Amazon Prime? Netflix is like first in, best dressed. But I don't know. I mean, I think it has the most. But each streaming platform has like some really good shows. It's just so frustrating that you need everything. It's so annoying.
Like Hulu's probably like what you like. Like I feel like if you watch a lot of TV or you like want to like stream a lot of TV, like Hulu probably is the most. If you're talking movies, I think you probably are gonna like lean Netflix. It's just so dependent on what you like.
Yeah, it's true. Movie theaters on Plex, movies in theaters on Plex. Plex. I've never seen Plex at all. I've never heard of that. I just downloaded. I was watching Brian's song it was on Tubi. I had no idea Tubi existed. I was on a movie podcast, and for the Super Bowl, I was invited to discuss Brian's song, which I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but it was I think the best sports movie I've seen. It was so good. So I like downloaded Tubi to watch it, and then next on it was like the Kurt Warner movie, which actually was pretty surprisingly good. I didn't expect it to be good, but it's actually good. Zachary Levi's. I like them from Chuck, the show.
Yeah, Chuck is great.
Yeah, I love one of my favorite shows. I think one of the most underrated shows ever.
Yeah, as it dragged on, they did the classic like any spy show. You're like every single person related to the main character is a spy.
Yes.
But like the early season stuff is like legit good. So like I don't know why every spy show does that. Like, can't we just have one person who's not related to all the spies in the world? Like, just for the love of God, please.
I know. Yeah, that does get annoying. That show's like legitimately funny.
Oh yeah,
and you get into the characters too. So some great characters, great acting on there.
You might be the only person I know that watched Chuck. I said for years that Chuck was way better because they kept thinking they were going to get canceled. They like dropped in so many like attempted series finales that the show is like way too good in like season 3 because they just kept getting told it was over. So like you actually get to experience like multiple series finales probably between season 3 and 4 that are like way better than they should be.
That's true. And it's weird because like Chuck used to lead into Heroes, and I used to remember.
Yeah.
I used to remember like, okay, I'll watch Chuck, but I'm really looking forward to Heroes. But then like when Heroes declined like terribly. And then like by season 3, I'm like, I'm looking forward to Chuck more tonight than Heroes. Like I'll watch Heroes just because it's on after Chuck at this point. Like the final season of Heroes when it was like the traveling circus or whatever, that was so bad.
I never got into it. Like it's funny, I even forgot it led into it. I don't think Heroes ever hooked me. So like I agree with you. Like I mean, I was pretty into Chuck from season 1. So like but yeah, like it's kind of funny how you just cannot like get drawn into the next show.
Yeah, it is. It's weird that way. But no, the bad guy in that episode and that season was Teabag from Prison Break, and so I thought he was amazing in that show, and I'm like, oh cool, they got Teabag, and like it just didn't work. It was so bad. BB's tired. Is that true, BB? Or
I haven't watched any of the shows you guys have fun talking about.
You got to get more into TV shows. What's going on here?
You got to watch Chuck. So you didn't experience it live. So if you rewatch Chuck, the absolute best thing is they completely sold out the subway to keep the show on the air. From like,
oh my god, yeah.
So when you rewatch, there's one character who they just really scrapped his entire storyline, and he
Big Mike.
Yeah, he just eats like 5 minutes of Subway an episode on camera. Like he'll be like, "This is the new chicken teriyaki sandwich," and he just starts like chowing down. It's such good TV because you're like, "What is happening?" Like, you're so far out of the controversy.
Big Mike's like instead of Best Buy, it's Buy More, and so they Chuck works there as a it's like a front because he's a spy, and so he'll like walk into Big Mike's. He's like, "Hey, Big Mike, can I have some help here?" He's like, "Hold on, I'm eating this chicken teriyaki sandwich. It's so great right now." Like it's just like it's such a blatant advertisement, but like they did it so overtly that it was so funny. It's hilarious.
It would also like zoom in on cars. I don't know if you noticed that too. Like there'll be sometimes where like we're not actually seeing a car chase. We're like seeing like the actual car itself. And they were like clearly selling car ads in the movie. Like when it pulled up, you didn't see the actors. You would like zoom in on the logo. You're like, this is pretty good. This is pretty blatant.
It is. And they had to do it to keep the show going. Actually, I kind of like that. Like,
oh yeah,
it was so like they weren't discreet about it at all. They made it funny. And that show is so great. Like when Lester and the other guy, I can't remember the guy, something in Lester.
It's been 2 years now.
I know. When they sang at the wedding. Yeah, that was, oh man, that's like one of my favorite scenes. It's so fun. So anyway, so we would recommend these shows, BB, if you ever get around to watching TV. Do you watch anything?
I watch TV. No, I watched The Night of the Seven Kingdoms. That's basically the TV I've watched.
That's it.
I don't really watch much TV now.
Are you still distraught over how Game of Thrones ended?
I get like, I'm not distraught, but I have no interest in rewatching it. And like, as you like doom scroll on Instagram or something like that, and like a clip comes up, it makes me sad. Like, this show used to be so good.
Yeah.
Does it make you feel any better that like the fact that George R. R. Martin still hasn't released the books has completely exposed him that was the ending of the show? Like,
I don't know if that exposed the ending because it's so different. Like
there's still no books. Like,
well, in the
books, it wasn't the ending.
Well, no, I wouldn't say it exposed because in the books, I mean, I guess it's not spoilers at this point. It's like a 15-year-old book and how old the show is, but like Jon Snow is still dead in the books, right? Stannis is still stuck in the snow.
Yep.
Daenerys is still across the narrow sea. Like he hasn't done any of those things yet. He actually removed himself as a producer on the show when they started doing that crazy stuff. He didn't want anything to do with it. I think it's more that he wrote himself into a corner and doesn't know what to do it anymore.
But wouldn't that be because they said that he gave him the ending at the start of like the pitch, right? So like,
well, no, what he gave them was the reveal that Jon is not Ned's bastard, but the prince that was promised. That he gave them, but he didn't give them Daenerys burns on King's Landing and then gets murdered 5 seconds later with zero.
Of course, but he's still maintaining that he's got a different ending then. I
don't know what he's maintaining. I just think he's also worked. Like he wrote is it the house? What's it called? The House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon.
He wrote that book. He wrote The Night of the Seven Kingdoms during all this as well.
Yeah.
I think he's just like kind of distracted and like writer's blocked, if I had to guess.
I don't see, like, people are like, oh, he's lazy. He's not lazy. He's writing these books and making these shows, right? But what I think what happened was, I think you're right, BB. Like, it seems like I feel like there's just so many characters, and he just doesn't know how to. I think he knows what he wants the ending to be. I just don't know if he knows how to get there. Like, because it's just like too many webs being tangled there. You know, like, and it's a shame. I mean, the fifth book came out when I moved into my house here. You guys know it was 2010. Yeah. And because I remember reading the book when I moved into the house, and it's been that long.
It's so trippy how long it's been. Did you ever see the movie Logan Lucky? Well,
no.
You have to look up the year it came out. It's actually a phenomenal book. I forget. It's about like a crime spree. It's really, really good. But there's an entire scene in the prison, and this movie has to be at least 5 years plus old, where the prisoners are rioting, and one of their demands is they need the final books of Game of Thrones because they're stuck. And they have, like, the hostage negotiators have to, like, tell them that they cannot give books that haven't been written. And they're, like, furious because Game of Thrones clearly has more information in the show than the books. They need to see that in writing. And it's like, that movie might even be longer than 5 years old. So, like, you actually have this piece of media, like an actual well-liked movie, calling him out, like, years ago, and he still hasn't released them.
He's released, like, chapters, hasn't he?
Yeah, but he said he was going to rewrite some of those chapters. So
the chapters that he released aren't even final then.
Right. It's very frustrating. You know, I think there was like a Sansa chapter and an Arya chapter, but you can't really trust it because he at the end of book one, I think there was a chapter he released about Theon in book two, and then in book two he actually changed some of the things. It wasn't like a complete change, but he changed some details. So.
Okay. I mean, my concern is the man's like mid-70s. Like, he might drop dead before he finishes this.
Yeah, did you see like he was at that other author, Brian Sanderson, was with him, and someone asked him who's gonna, like, since you're about to die soon, like, who's gonna pick up your writing? It was like the crowd booed. Like, someone in the crowd was like, "You're about to die. Like, you cannot possibly live much longer. Like, who's gonna finish your books?"
He's not the healthiest.
Say he lives another 10 years, like, his brain might just start going to mush. Like,
there's no way he lives 10 years. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, like, even if he were to, there's no guarantee that he even has the capability of doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I think he already has proven he doesn't have the capability to finish it anyway. But
no,
I mean, do you think he's passed on his ideas to someone else though, like to finish the books?
I think what IR said earlier though about the ending being something that, like, that is the ending and now he regrets it. I don't know if it's exactly the ending he wanted, but I'm sure that also weighs on him. Like, he doesn't want it to be some massive disappointment because now he's like even stuck where he has to, even if some of the ideas did overlap, like, so maybe he develops it in a way where Daenerys does go crazy and burns down the city, but he saw, like, everyone hated that. So now I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's exact. I'm with you. I'm not saying it's exact. I just think it's, like, close enough that he's like, I can't do this, and maybe that's why. Walt, to your point, like, I haven't read the books. Like, I was like just more of a show watcher, but like, you do have so many characters. Like, what if like half of their endpoints are going to be like tied into that story? You'd be panicking right now. Maybe that's why you're in a corner.
I hear you guys, and you could be right, but at the same time, like, there was a long time between when the fifth book was released and the final season was released. You know, that was what, 11 years on its own, right, or 12 years. So like he had enough time to publish book 6, and I thought, like, because I watched the first season and then I read all the books and then I watched the second season onward, and I remember thinking, like, okay, maybe he'll release book 6 after like season 3 and then book 7 after season 6 or something, and it'll work out that way. But like, he just never released anything. And like, he could have, I think the time between book 4 and book 5, I think, was like 5 years or something, maybe 4 years. And right. So like, I thought, okay, 2014, 2015. And then if it was another 5 years, 2020, that actually would have been before the ending. And obviously it was delayed by COVID, but still it would have been before the ending. And I mean, he had plenty of time during COVID too, like when everyone's locked down, like he could run some stuff then. And I think he's like trapped. Like I just think that he doesn't know what to do with some of the characters and how to get to them to the endpoints. But like I said, he's not lazy. He's certainly not lazy. He's doing a lot of stuff.
No, I definitely don't think he's lazy. I agree with you there. I think he feels trapped.
Yeah. Which is a shame because it's such. I mean, the books are amazing. I know you said you didn't read the books. I would recommend it, even though we may not get book 6 ever. I don't think we will.
Is that accurate though in the books? Jon Snow's still dead or whatever, and Stannis is still up north. And
Yes.
so is that like season 5?
Yeah. No, there was Hardhome was season 5, right? So yeah, it was season 5. Because John got murdered the episode after Hardhome.
Okay.
Hardhome was 509 because remember episode 9 is always the big one.
Is there 8 seasons?
It was 8 seasons, but remember
7 and 7 sucked, yeah.
Yeah, they broke up 7 and 8 for some. I forget why, but
they broke it up. That's when they started going less than seasons 1 to 6 came out every year, and they were 10 episodes, and they were hour episodes.
Yeah,
and then the last 2 seasons there was 2-year gaps. Now the first go around was because of the COVID delay.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think the writers basically were giving up the show. Didn't they go into do Star Wars or something?
They lost that job.
Yeah, they got fired from the job too.
Okay, but it was something where they were going on a different project and didn't want to do Game of Thrones.
That's what they were going to do. Like I think what the boss said is right. Like I think they had gotten an offer for a full Star Wars trilogy, but the fans reacted so harshly. They're like, Disney was like, "Why would we want you? Your fans hate you now."
Right.
I don't understand why HBO just didn't say like, "We'll find other showrunners."
Yeah,
I don't know what the contract situation was. Maybe there's like they owned the show. I don't know, but
yeah,
I can't believe like HBO couldn't say, even if they owned the property, let's buy you out and let's keep going.
George R. Martin said it had to be 13 seasons. Like he himself said that there's enough material.
Oh, he says that, but stop giving them material right.
I know.
Because it was his plan, Walt, to just like his books, the show should never end. It should have been just 100 seasons.
Sure.
2 years in between each season.
It's like The Simpsons. It just doesn't end. It keeps going.
Well, have you ever seen like behind like interviews with him when he talks about that whole universe? I think the reason why he's writing these other books that take place earlier is in his head. He like built that lore.
Yeah.
Like he went back 300 years in his head, and like I like the one interview he does where he's talking about like naming characters, and he says, "There's a thing in writing like you don't give characters the same first initial. So if you have a John, you can't have a Jim." But that makes no sense. If you look at English history, it's all Henrys. Like, how do you not have repeating names? And then I want more than 26 characters. I had to repeat first letters. And then literally he gives characters the same first name. There's multiple Johns and multiple, and like you have Robert Baratheon and Robb Stark. Like he has no problem just repeating first names.
Yeah.
So I think that's very interesting. Like he designed this whole like 400-year plus. Well, I think he goes past the. I'm being real nerdy here. I'm sorry. He goes back further than Aegon's conquest. He goes back in like the old Valyria and stuff.
Yeah.
So he has like this 400-year thing he designed, and now I think that's why it's easy for him to go in and like fill in the stories. That's why he likes writing, House of the Dragon and Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to write backward. I mean, if he already referenced it in the book, like you know how it's going to end.
Yeah.
Like whereas. Yeah, he still has to come up with the ending. Maybe he doesn't even know. So
yeah,
that's it is pretty crazy. Yeah, they do have a lot of Robs in it. Even Robin Aaron's kind of close to it too. Who I still believe is Littlefinger's son, but that's speculation. We don't know.
Would you support? And I've thought about this a lot. Would you just support them redoing the final season? Because like nothing was more jarring to me than when like we watched the battle and like. Forget how many, like basically all the main characters living, except for like Theon, basically. But like all the armies basically like came back to life, and then they just marched on King's Landing. And I'm like, I needed to see some evidence that any of these people were still alive. Like
it was so bad.
The numbers, you mean? Like the
numbers? Yeah. So you watched a battle, even if you can accept, right, that they show you like face act, like main characters who survived. I was with them there, right? But then the next episode, I'm watching like a funeral, and there's like full armies of people that you watch get decimated. You're like, did they like not? I know they have multiple show directors, but it felt like they didn't meet to talk about. And that's what it felt like. One director was like, "Oh, I killed everybody."
Yeah.
Never told the other director the army still exists. It was so confusing.
Well, there's a scene like one episode where they're literally looking at like the map, and like the commanders are pulling pieces off the board. Like we lost half our Dothraki, like half the Dothraki, half the Unsullied, whatever. Yeah. And then the scene where they're outside King's Landing, the Dothraki show up. And the last time we saw them,
they were riding into like the army of the dead.
Right, all for no reason.
They all have the fire swords, and all the flames go out.
Yeah.
And then like 2 episodes later, like IR said, it's like, oh, they're all here still. Like,
or the Unsullied are like all outside the gate. It's like if you had seen more inside the castle, you'd be like, oh, I guess they only showed us half them. But you're like, no, we just like watched them all die. And then they're like, well, don't worry,
their
they're all
deaths for
still
no
here.
reason.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I actually watched it. I watched a video that was like I don't know the guy's background, but they claimed to have some like medieval historical expertise and was talking about like the siege warfare and like defense of a siege and how like stupid the defense of Winterfell was. Like exactly why are your shock troops, your cavalry charging in first? Why aren't they attacking the flanks? Why is your artillery outside the walls? Why is your trench so thin that one dude laying atop of it could build a bridge? Because they like remember the scene where they light the trench on fire. And one of the whites, how they're called, he like falls forward, and that created enough of a bridge for the rest of them to walk over and not get burned.
Yeah,
no. I know this is going off topic, but
I was going to say Bishop King's been begging with an okay for like any other football topic, so he's going to kill us.
Well, real quick, another example.
That was like 20 minutes ago too.
Another example of that was remember when Arya she got on a white horse and went out of the King's Landing, and she left King's Landing. It's the penultimate episode because it was after Daenerys burned everything down. Arya survived, and she saw a white horse, and then she rode off into the sunset. She left King's Landing, and in the next episode, she's still in King's Landing, and there's no horse. Like, what happened? Like, why was there a horse? Where'd she go? And why was she back? It didn't make any sense. It was different writers writing and not communicating with each other. That's exactly what it was.
Which is probably the showrunner's fault, to be fair. Like they're probably supposed to be like, I think it all goes back to what the boss said. Like I actually think like they just were so ready for the next project. Like they should have been making sure that the independent writers were like not doing different stuff.
Yeah,
but you don't catch that in editing.
They probably did, but it's probably too late.
But you can like reorder stuff. Like you take that scene that was in the episode 5 with her on the white horse, and you put it after she walks away from the Hound, when he's like, "You don't want to be like me, leave."
Yeah,
like you just edit it a little different. I don't know.
I guess you could, yeah. They probably at that point were just like, we messed it all up anyway. Just
cares.
we know it sucks. Yeah.
Well, there's scenes when like the actors are at like the premiere, and they're like, "Yeah, this." Like you see in their faces, like this sucks.
Kit Harington was pretty outspoken about how bad it was, because I know he was like a big fan of the books and stuff, and so I know he was disappointed. The problem with remaking it is getting everyone back. It doesn't seem possible to me. Everyone's doing different
all new cast. Just do it all over again.
All new cast. Yeah. Well, Kit Harington's doing that big show on HBO now. What is it? It's not Dynasty. What is it? I forget what it's called. Industry. Like he's one of the main characters in Industry. So like he may not even be available to do it. So maybe it'll be like Harry Potter. Like they're redoing the movies into a show. Maybe they'll do that in 10, 15 years or something. And they'll have a new cast. They'll start over. Maybe we'll do that. Could be, I'm going to watch the Harry Potter show. Even though the whole Snape thing is kind of ridiculous, but whatever.
I haven't even followed it. I have no idea what's going on.
Well, yeah, look, Snape's the black guy, which is an issue because they hanged him, and
that's all I was gonna say. I didn't want to go down that road. I was gonna say that they cast a black actor to be Snape, which is whatever. But there's scenes in the movies and the books where James Potter and like the Marauders bully him and hang him from a tree. So now it's like a lynching implication. Like it's just. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's gonna be true to the books. And in the books, Harry Potter, for the first time when he sees Snape, is like really suspicious of him, and so it's gonna be suspicious of the only black teacher at Hogwarts. It's gonna be pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, I never. My personal take is I never really care if it's a fictional character, like who gets cast. But I agree with you there. Like you probably should cut those scenes. Like I wouldn't. Yeah. I wouldn't do those scenes at all.
But the whole premise of the show, this new show, is that they're going to be like 100% truthful to the books, because in the movies they left a lot of stuff out. So like their selling point is like this is going to be like beat by beat everything from the books. So we'll see how they handle that. You know.
Yeah, be curious.
Yeah. So, any other, as Bishop is asking, any other football things?
We got to give him one
or-
more. Did you have
more.
any other backups, BB?
Yeah, because I mean we're 2 hours late. I know you guys probably have to go to bed. Any like last things about the NFL that you can get to?
My brain went.
I can.
Think about that.
I guess I have like in terms. I don't know if I have like a BDL connection, but I will say like I did think it was funny like how much uproar the MVP voting happens, and like because I know like Portnoy and those guys made a big stink about Drake May like not winning because of the Allen voters and the one Herbert vote. It was almost like a relief that like the playoffs went the way they did because like it justified the Matt Stafford vote. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Also, even as a person who like I think I touted actually BB's team as being my front runner because I thought May played so well. I never even thought May would be within 10 votes of Stafford. I was actually pretty shocked about the MVP voting. I didn't think there was like a justification for how close the vote was, even as a May fan.
Yeah, Stafford was overwhelming in the betting markets. He was like minus 450 or something, which means to win $100, you have to bet 450. Like that. That's how much of a favorite he was. And I thought Stafford would just win it, and it was close. Yeah, it was one vote. Yeah, and in fairness, the MVP usually goes to a divisional winner, which the Rams were not. Seattle won, but I mean the Rams still had one of the better records in the conference, and Stafford had the best numbers. There were arguments, about like how May was better in games against common opponents. I think like Mina Kimes made that argument. And I'm like, this like they're common opponents where the NFC South and the Titans and like the Browns, like maybe not the Browns, but it's like some other crappy teams. It's like, who cares? Like, there's nothing valuable about having good stats against bad teams. I want to know how you do against the great teams and stuff like that. And in the final game against a playoff team, Drake May, and by the way, I didn't play too many playoff teams. The final game against the playoff teams, Drake May had a blown 21-point lead and did nothing in the second half. Whereas, Stafford beat Seattle once, and it wasn't really his fault they lost the second time because, that the defense and special teams really hurt. So, I would say Stafford over May, but I would maintain, I think Josh Allen was the MVP because I think if you replace Stafford with a mediocre quarterback, I think the Rams maybe win like 8 or 9 games. Maybe they challenge for a playoff spot. Like Patriots, I probably same thing with that easy schedule. If you replace Josh Allen with a mediocre quarterback, like that team's not winning more than 4 games. Like that team sucked, except for their tackles really good. And then their tight ends obviously, and they did a good pass defense, but because their run defense was ranked 31st, the receivers sucked. And James Cook's obviously really good, but they really didn't have much. And Josh Allen just carried the team all year. And that's why I thought like the most valuable player to his team, I think Josh Allen, like by a long shot.
Maybe that's the real question that I think like the vote is so difficult because like no one seems to agree on like what value is. Like I think the Josh Allen argument's the same as the Herbert argument. I'm with you all. I think the Allen argument makes a lot more sense, but like I know at least the Herbert voter put out a big defense of the vote, and it's basically your argument for Allen, like that the O-line was so bad, yet they still make the playoffs. What Herbert did couldn't really be repeated by almost anybody in the league, like blah, blah, blah. I don't agree with it, obviously, but like it's basically the Allen argument too, is that like they're not a playoff team without this player. But like I feel like we need to define value then. Like is value that you're actually a Super Bowl contender? Because I thought the Herbert vote was stupid because at no point did I think anyone argue San Diego had a chance. Like we knew their line was too bad. Yeah. So like, does it matter if they make the playoffs if they can't win? And like, so that might be part of the argument. Like, let's define what we want MVP to be. Is it like you have to be a Super Bowl contender, or if like we just wipe you off your team? Is that what we're talking about? Because by that logic, Mahomes could also be MVP, even though he didn't have a good season. Like, the Chiefs stink without Mahomes. Lamar is hurt; they stink. Like, it gets too difficult, I think, to do it that way.
It's a quarterback's award, right? So you can't even do it like if we take a player off a team. I know technically it's not the quarterback's award, but let's be real.
Yeah.
But like the Eagles, for example, are terrible when with their O-line. Like some of their O-line guys go down, and all of a sudden the team can't function.
Lane Johnson,
Lane Johnson. But yeah, I when you say that about Herbert and these guys, if you replace them with a mediocre quarterback, what does the team really look like? And Josh Allen being so great. It is. What is the award? Is it the best quarterback, generally speaking, or is it you have to be a really good team and you're the best player on that team?
Yeah, they're voting for different things. They're not trying to. In my opinion, there's no one being malicious. They're just voting for different things.
Yeah, there's no standard for it. It's like if you gave someone like the voters a flow chart, and we're like, okay, you have to look for these things. Maybe it would be more consistent. But it's pretty wild that the votes are all over the place.
You think there should be a voting rubric? Is that what you're saying?
A voting what?
A rubric.
Oh, there you go. That's his transition to like a big fight in the BDL. Yeah, there's no rules to voting. It's do whatever you want, judge on whatever you want. So there's been some owners that are like, can we just get like a rubric so you can explain like why you're voting, or like find standard rules to voting? Everyone's like, hard pass. We're just gonna wing it. We're gonna like shoot from the hip.
I was informed about the voting, and I was like, this seems like sketchy, third world election sort of deal, in your league. So it's like it's like a popularity contest almost.
It's tough. I mean, maybe Dave, maybe you can speak to this. I don't notice a lot of crazy actions like that. There's funnily enough, less than a popularity contest. Some of the big like fights happen where like if a team is on a big losing streak, there is a trend. Like if you freak out in Discord all week that your season's ruined, that team almost always wins. Like unless you're trash. Like if you're truly a bad team, but like it's been a thing for a while. Like if you go like woe is me and you like lay it on real thick, you're probably gonna win. Like it won't win you a lot of games, but like you might salvage one game in your season. I don't know. That's something I've definitely observed.
Yeah, I mean there was some bad actors this year. There were people voting before the games were even played. I do get personally annoyed by the no comment votes, especially the people that consistently do it. They just click and don't explain why they're voting. As far as like an actual rubric goes, I think the problem with that is the people that want it refuse to present one until the league agrees they like would even would you use it if I made it? Is basically what the argument is. Like I want to see it first.
Yeah,
and I think that's a problem. But I said to you in the summer when we did this that my least favorite part of this is the voting. I think it's kind of a mess.
It does. I wasn't joking when I said it seems like third world country stuff. It's I don't know. It does seem like really sketchy. The fact that you can complain and get a win, man, that's
well.
I'm all right. So I'm
gonna a lot of wins. But maybe one win.
I got bad voting was the last week of the season. One of the owners and we call it punting, and that means if you don't submit a game plan.
Mm-hmm.
He punted a couple times, and then because like his team was out of it, who cares? He's not submitting game plans. It's a big problem. The last week of the season, his game plan was literally like, you guys don't like my offense anyway, even though I run an NFL offense. My defense has good players. I'll do some pass rush stuff, but you guys don't care. And it was like 4 sentences. And people were like, and the team he was playing submitted a real game plan, but jokingly, because win or lose, their standings couldn't change, they started their backup players. This is the team that ends up winning the championship, by the way, that does this. One of their backup players is Matt Stafford.
Okay.
It's not like you put like nobodies out there. And the team still – so anyway, as the voting goes on, some people start voting for the other team. And I said, in a vacuum, what offense are they running? What defense are they running? This is not a game plan.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, I see the remnants of a game plan. I'm like, no, you don't. You're just lazy. You didn't read shit, and you're voting. You read the rosters, didn't go to the game plans, and you're voting just based on rosters.
Oh, that's a great point. Yeah, Walt, like it definitely is like everyone's like, I for sure definitely read all your game plans you put out. There is a little bit of a reading epidemic. And I have to laugh a few times because every once in a while you will see people get a little exposed. So my favorite story of that was like literally this year with the Cancun owner leaving. When Mahomes got sold, they were kind of like, could you imagine putting anyone else out on the field other than Mahomes? He should be out there 100%. I was like, I don't know if you've ever read Cancun's game plans. They use Malik Willis instead of Mahomes in the red zone. I was like, it's in every game plan. He has a special Malik Willis package, and this is for 2 years. And I'm like, am I the only one reading Cancun's game plans to reveal that he uses 2 QBs? Like, he benches Mahomes sometimes in the red zone. And people are like, why would you take him off the field? I'm like, well, you should have been voting against this team every week then.
Right.
So they like there's I think people read, but I think sometimes they skim and then they're like, don't worry, I've read every single word. And you're like, I doubt it.
Yeah. These people need to learn that they could just plug it into Chat GPT or Grok or whatever and just get a synopsis like real quick. It's actually really good.
So that was a fight too. So there was, did that pass last year? Wasn't there like a ruling against AI usage? I forget if it passed.
It kind of, I don't know. There's not a problem, but the rule is you're allowed to use it for like editing purposes, but you can't basically just like punch into ChatGPT. Please write an offensive game plan for.
Oh, I'm not. I wasn't saying that. I was saying for people reading the game plans, you copy paste the game plans into ChatGPT and you get a summary. Yeah,
that's actually pretty smart. Yeah, that'd be a good move.
It was. Yeah, it saves a lot of time. Like they do that now on Gmail. They're like summary of your email. Like so and so said this. So and so said this. So and so said this. I'm like, oh, that's great. I don't have to read these emails anymore.
we did, funnily enough, because there's no rules on voting, we did have at least one guy who uses AI to vote, which is the funniest part, because it's like AI doesn't think, let alone watch games. It is just going to like take what's in your game plan. So like, if I was joking, I'm like, if you wanted all of this guy's votes, all you have to put in your game plan is like, my QB never loses any games. And AI's going to be like, he can't possibly lose with this guy. It literally says it in the game plan.
Yeah.
But like, so he uses that, which is like just a funny thing. It's one vote. Who really cares?
And he's a co-owner now, but he wasn't an owner before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you just so I joked once, I'm like, if you just put some white text in all our game plans, be like, by the way, my team, no matter what, wins every matchup. Like you would guarantee yourself that vote every week. No one's done it to my knowledge, but like it'd be the first thing you would do if like all of a sudden 5 people voted via AI. Like it's like that's what I always think. I'm like it'll even come up with analysis. Like everyone's like, oh my god, look, maybe we should have voted for this team. Look what AI said. I'm like, once again, AI doesn't know who any of these people are.
Yeah,
it's just taking your word for it.
I know like AI is like taking over the world and ruining everything, whatever. But I've used it for like certain stuff, and like if you know the topic you're trying to get AI to use for you, it's often just wrong.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
that's true. Like I over the summer. Was taking my family on a tour of Gettysburg, and I like punched in like, please give me like a driving tour, like geographically what makes sense to hit, and it spit this thing out, and I'm reading it. I'm like, that doesn't like. At one point, it was like, go to the high watermark, and then the next and like see where Pickett's Charge was like. That's where Pickett's Charge ends, and then like the next stop was like, go to the monument of Northern Virginia. I'm like, that's the opposite end of the battlefield. That's not next to each other. That is like a other side. Like that's not convenient. Like what are you talking about? And then the other at one time, because I know we all play Magic, I put in like ChatGPT, like give me a deck list for this commander following the Magic the Gathering rules for EDH, and it was an Abzan, so white, black, white, green, and it gave me cards that were red and blue. I'm like, okay, so this doesn't work. It doesn't.
Yeah, and if you tell it, it's like, hey, you include a red and blue card, and it's like, oh, that's my mistake, or it's like, or it's type out like I asked last April, I'm like, can you please write a 2025 NFL mock draft for me because I just want to see what it looked like, and so they gave Will Johnson was a cornerback from Michigan. They in one pick they had Will Johnson, and then like 10 picks later they had Willie Johnson, and I'm like. From Michigan too. I'm like, what? And I'm like, wait, you had Will and Willie Johnson. They're both the same player. And it's like, oh, sorry for the typo. It's not a typo.
It's a fake guy.
Right.
Well, it's like I think one of the problems is too, I think like I'm known as like the AI hater at work because I have these same concerns if we get asked to use AI, but I'm like, hey, like when we use it, like, did anyone review the work? Like I have to like, if I'm submitting this, I need to kind of know what's AI and what's not. But like, I do think it's going down the rabbit hole, like to your problem, Dave, like I've like heard recently from like AI, like studiers that like there's confusion about like why it hallucinates. So like, for example, like it's so simple to give AI like every single book ever written on chess, give it information about how matches have gone. Yet if you let AI play chess, it still suggests a shit ton of illegal moves. It's like, how would AI ever make an illegal move? It's the simple. It has all the books on chess, and it's like AI just can. It just goes rogue. So like, it hallucinates, and I think also it like is. It will never tell you it doesn't know. It'll always just make up an answer rather than tell you I'm not sure. So like, it's got a lot of flaws.
Yeah, a lot of flaws for sure. You know what it's good for is coding. It's so good. So for my recaps, like I have to if I make a new week, it's a new week, I have to like put in the matchups, like I have to change the logos, change the team, etc. All I have to do is like, hey, ChatGPT, here's the schedule. Can you write the code for me? It spits it out in like 10 seconds. Like it would take me like 20 minutes. It saves me 20 minutes each week. So like that's what it's good for. Not like knowing stuff, but like menial tasks that save time.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting too, because it's like what they developed has kind of like, I agree with you. The coding stuff is like where it's superior. Like even the problems with the coding are largely that like code always breaks down if like companies use it, so they need to maintain it. The only problem with AI coding is like no one built it, so no one knows what's going to break. But I think at the same time, like they'll fix that eventually. But it just means like largely software developers and like AI people like got rid of their own jobs. Like I don't think it's doing a good job of taking the other jobs away yet. So I think it'll be interesting to see like where it goes. But I don't know. I have no idea. I've asked people at work forever. I'm like, so like, what happens if everyone loses their jobs? I was like, who gives any money to any of our own companies? Like, I was like, have you thought this through? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So I'm like, whatever. I guess it's the end of the world. Like, what am I supposed to do?
It's good for making YouTube thumbnails too. I'll say that.
There you go. Oh yeah, everything on YouTube is AI now. It's insane.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All my thumbnails are all ChatGPT. All you
But
have
how
to do
many
is like
videos have you watched? It's the same like crappy AI voice. It's like, okay, that's not
I click out of it right away. I can't.
those are terrible. Those are terrible. I can't do it either. Or like the jump cuts, the AI jump cuts. Those frustrate me so much. Like I'm just like, speak like a normal person. Don't like jump cut every 5 seconds. It's the worst.
Yeah, as you guys know, like, I'm a giant like history nerd. And I'll be watching some videos like, you know, top 10 battles of like whatever. And it's like, you know, the Civil War. And like, I'm very particular, like for people listen, like I do Civil War reenactments. So I'm very particular about uniforms and stuff like that. I'm watching something, I'm like, that's not a Civil War uniform. And like jump cut, I'm like, that's also that's a different wrong uniform.
Yeah.
Like it's like
yeah, it is. It's frustrating when you know that. I guess like the casual person may not know.
no, but that's all they're caring about. They're not trying to.
Yeah, was it? We were all swimmers too, right? And like whenever they have swimming in a TV show or movie, like they always say like complete nonsense.
That's
you know,
true.
and they're like, oh my god, that's so wrong.
Do you ever notice if like swimming's in a movie, they usually will have someone swim, and you're like, that's the slowest swimmer I've ever seen. And like he's about to be an Olympian. You're like, you couldn't get anyone that could swim. Like
they did that in a couple. I can't remember which show, but they had like it was like the captain of the swim team, and he's like he doesn't even wear goggles, and like he's swimming, and he like has his head above water, and it's like, oh, he won the race. He's just so good. It's like not even close. And then like I remember Hey Dude from back in the day. So I'm a little bit older than you guys, so you may not remember Hey Dude on Nickelodeon.
Is that the camp show?
Yeah, the Western Ranch.
I didn't watch that one.
Camp.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of Salute Your Shorts.
Yes, yeah. I remember Hey Dude. Okay.
Yeah, they had it was like a Western Ranch type of show. There was a girl, the lifeguard there. She was a swimmer in high school or whatever. They had a guy from the Olympics come specifically to time her to see if she could make the Olympics. And I'm like, this never happens. Like you have to go to like trials and whatnot. You have to go to like champs and whatnot, and like all these individual swim meets to get timed. Like no one's gonna come to a random dude ranch in Arizona to time you to see it. It's like it's not even a lap pool. Like they're timing her. Like
that's true. How far is the pool? Oh, it's
right.
bad.
It's so stupid. Basketball movies can be rough to ever see Slam Dunk, Ernest.
Oh shit! Yeah, I did see that when I was a kid. It's bad.
What's the basketball movie? It's like the same, like Nickelodeon or whatever, and it's like the triple move the girl does. I can't remember.
Oh, yeah, the twin girls, right?
Yeah,
where she just like moves back and forth for like 10 minutes and then like travels 3 times. Yeah, I don't. It's so good. I use that GIF all the time.
Oh my god.
A good basketball movie though for the chat though. Did you ever see Hustle with Adam Sandler? Is very good on Netflix.
No, I haven't.
That's the one where he goes like Eastern Europe to like recruit players in the
NBA. So he plays actually this one of the scouts for the 76ers, and like the plot of the movie, so I'm not giving anything away, is just that like I think in the very beginning, like the son of the owner like wants to draft a guy that he's positive is going to bust, but he's like a top pick, and he's like advocating for somebody else, and he kind of gets him kind of forced out. And the whole movie is about him, like, kind of like trying to train up like the guy who's not even on the radar of the prospects to get him drafted. It's very, very good. They use a real NBA player. I'm forgetting his name. I think it's like Hernandez is his last name. It's been a while since I saw it. Maybe it came out 3 or 4 years ago, but it's a really good movie, actually.
Yeah, I have to check it out. They at South Park did an episode of Magic too, And,
Oh, so good.
So from what I heard, they did the research and then they got everything wrong on purpose to troll people.
The cards are real though. If you watch the
yeah, the cards are real, but like it would be like oh, he hasn't lost a single life point. You know, it's like he's not using touch lands.
I actually remember watching that because there's like Kenny plays like Life of the Loam, which is like gain 4 life for the stupid. I'm like, oh, that's a terrible card.
yeah. I know, he played Life on the Loam.
Life of the Loam.
So,
yeah, it's a great episode though. I haven't seen that in forever.
Oh my god! Well, South Park sold out. The final the previous season was so bad. It was just like
in years. I've no idea.
It's been a while.
It was just like dick jokes. That's all it was. It's like small dick jokes. Like that's the whole crux of it. It was like funny the first time, and then it's like it kept making the same joke over and over again. The one funny thing was they had the Kristi Noem on the show, and they had her face fall off and like slither around like a rat. I thought that was pretty good, but the rest of the season was pretty awful. So yeah, it hasn't been good for a while. But we
Quacky's got a weird movie recommendation.
What about
I've seen that movie.
Court Miracle, a movie about a Jewish youth basketball team that gets this guy who's trying to get to try out for the Sixers to coach them. Too good.
I have seen that.
I have not. You have?
Yeah.
Was it good?
Yeah, I liked it.
Okay. I haven't seen it. There are a lot of sports movies. But anyway, we are about 2.5 hours in. So, and I know you guys, I go to bed. Look, I go to bed at 6 a.m. So it's like my prime hours, but I know you guys sure have work tomorrow. So, we'll have to do this again. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. And maybe a couple weeks from now, or a few weeks, we'll have to discuss. But yeah, so you guys want to plug anything at all before we head out? I mean, you have your charity, of course.
Yeah, so Brunette for Frogs, thank you for Annie Murphy for joining us for, I would say, a solid hour and a half of this video. She was a trooper, and I'm sure Frogs is going to absolutely love everything that happened on this entire podcast that he promised to watch tomorrow.
Nice. BB, anything before you head out?
No, I got my Twitter that still no one follows because no one loves me. No.
If we get to what was that, 100 subs?
100 followers, I had to make some this is like how long that's been going on. This is during the 2024 election.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. How many followers do you have? 31. It's if Dave Wolf gets to 100 followers, he will post crazy stuff on Twitter from what we were.
What constitutes crazy stuff? Like what was?
Well, back in 2024, it was I had to give my opinions on the election, but that didn't happen.
How about you have to give a full breakdown for Quacky of the Arby's menu? Would that be fair?
All right, if I get to 100 followers, me and Walt will go to Arby's and I'll do a review of the Arby's menu.
Oh, I can't wait.
And then you have to give it 1 to 5 quacks as your rating system. 5 being the best number of quacks.
Yes.
The peach cobbler bites, 4 quacks.
Oh, I'll have to try those. Those sound good. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully we do it without the 100 followers, but really, let's get to 100 followers so we get that review. Quacky will be on tomorrow, as he said. Nice. So we'll get to that show tomorrow. And then next week, normal schedule until Thursday, because Thursday is when the combine starts. So I'm not sure what hours those are, but Tuesday and Wednesday we'll definitely have a show next week. So anyway, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit walterfootball.com for tons of free NFL content. And great chatting with you guys. Thanks for joining us, IR and BB, and thanks for joining. Yeah, thanks for joining us in the chat, watching and commenting. Really appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a great night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.